history is going to be made today. History is going to be written today, as we have 2 more teams to send to River Falls to play on land, to play in front of a venue, a crowd, a bunch of people who enjoy Rocket League. Ori and I enjoy Rocket League a ton. We always have, hopefully always will, but
hopefully
something's going to happen today. One of these 2 teams is going to punch their ticket one way closer to a chance, obviously, to compete in a LAN venue, but also to further cement their history in MCS. And obviously, we've got some matches to watch today. We've got a bracket to play. We've got some Rocket League to watch. And Ori, this first match, it's the one I'm looking forward to the most.
Yeah, I think that we picked a really good one to watch. Both these teams are really close in standings, and both are in upper bracket. They want to, at least, especially with upper bracket, just winning that first game and getting to that final. It gives you 2 chances to qualify, because you don't have to, if you drop out of uppers, which 2 teams have to, drop out of uppers right away, you have to win 2 more to qualify, and you can't lose another one. So winning this first game really gives you such a good, right? I mean, you saw Mankato do it in Challenger. They went up to the upper final, and that makes them go down right to the lower final. You get 2 back-to-back chances to qualify. So really good spot to be in. And personally, I'm gonna ask you for your prediction, but I have I already talked before the stream a little bit. I like Bubbly Reaper as a player. So I'm gonna say St. Cloud, but it's gonna be close. I'm gonna say St. Cloud on 7.
I think this is one of those series that is gonna dip into the deeper mind of 6 or 7 games possibly. But you mentioned Comet, you mentioned Bubbly Reaper, excuse me. I'm mentioning Comet, Zodak, and Wesley. They've been really good this season. Have been very consistent, and obviously their standing suggests that. They're the 5th seed right now, and the St. Cloud Flyers just edging them out by 4 points to take the 4th seed. So you've got Bubbly Reaper, Trash, and Vogs against Comet, Zodak, and Wesley. And I'm just looking forward to these 2 teams. I'm pretty sure they went to Game 5 in the season, and I don't remember if it was Bloomington that took it, but I'm thinking that we're going to go to at least 5 games here, hopefully, but there's a chance that we get 6 or 7, likely. But
yeah, likely 6 or 7.
Likely. Take a look at the bracket. That Flyers Maulers match is that second match in the upper round 1. Right now we're in upper round 1. Derecho and Atlas playing off stream. That would be a doozy as well to watch. But Senators and Jungle waiting down there at the bottom, ready for the loser of this and the Derecho Atlas match to take on those 2. And that's obviously gonna be very, very disheartening if you're gonna lose, because you have to go down and play a hungry team, and we saw what Chicago did in the major. They're very capable of running this bottom bracket. That would be scary for me as a competitor, Ori.
Yeah.
But now you have to think about this match is the most important match of your season. To get to the upper qual, you have such an advantage. You lose here, you're able to go down to the lower qual and still have another chance. But Ori, this match is about ready to get underway. I'm curious your prediction for it. Mine, I'm going. You said Flyers in 7. I'm saying Flyers in 6. I have confidence in Bubbly.
We're cursing them.
We are indeed cursing them.
What did we just do?
But we're gonna send them into the game. Let them fly. This should be good.
Let out the dogs.
Let the dogs roll. Let the dogs eat. Here we go. Game number 1 underway. This should be a doozy. Best of 7. Flyers, Maulers, the 4 and the 5 seed. They fought all season long to see who takes this and moves to the upper qual and gets so much when it comes to your chances of qualifying for that in-person event. But we've already had 2 teams get there. The Steel Ox and the Duluth Superiors, who were lethal all season. 2 teams that were impossible to stop. And now in this game number 1, will we see a defensive series I don't know. Considering how well Bloomington plays, they're a good defensive team, but they're known to get caught a lot in their defensive half. We'll see if the same thing happens here. As Wesley gets a double.
Speaking of Bloomington being good on offense, at least a little bit on offense, I mean, Wesley, I was about to say, I mean, I know Wesley to be more mechanical. Don't know too much about Zodak and Comet, but I mean, you know, they obviously have to be here for a reason. So, yeah, I mean, that's a beautiful double tap from Wesley. Just the defense in the side of almost piling on another goal. Defense on the side of Flyers, no one was really in that. Wesley just put it behind everybody that was on the backboard. That's a big mistouch, but nothing too bad happening. A bit of a miscommunication in the corner. Players bumping into each other, but Boggs able to 50 it out with some of that pressure. Comet to the middle, doesn't get the touch. Boggs gonna pick this up in the midfield, trying to get some offensive pressure met by Wesley, but that 50 isn't favorable. Trash had an opportunity, but it's hit wide. It rolls up to the sidewall into Bubbly's possession. He's off the sidewall. We've seen him, see what he can do with the ball. Not able to find anything with that flip reset. Pops it down the middle. No one on the side of Maulers to meet that in the air. A bit of a scary situation. Another double commit coming up from Flyers. Flyers right now looks off to be a shaky start in this game one.
Wesley over the top had a great start in the first, a minute and a half that has elapsed gone by. Had a really nice shot to put it on target. And the good news, though, for Bloomington is they play so structured, able to move the ball to each other very well. Comet, one of the best players in MCS right now when it comes to mechanics and just raw talent. He's going to be a player you need to look out for. But on the side of St. Cloud, they've been so good all year. Boggs having, I would argue, one of the best seasons in MCS history when it comes to offensive scoring output, has taken the reins of the St. Cloud team and really gotten it done on the offensive end. Look for him to be the man shooting the ball, the third man back a lot of the times, the one that's there taking the shots. As I say that, incredible read way up high off the 50 pinch between Bubbly Reaper and Comet, and Zodak can't get there in time because Vogs has the hammer all the way down, ties the game at 1.
Beautiful angle, and just the confidence to go up for that. He saw Zodak up and just knew that it was going to be slightly out of reach. These players at this level, they're looking at every little thing on the field, positioning a player's boost, whatever, and he saw a glimpse, just a slight miss and overlap in the defense, and he was able to capitalize off that car length opening and that angle. I mean, that was just a beautiful shot, but every shot at this level is going to be really nice. I mean, it's Premier, it's the highest level. All these players so high ranked and putting everything on the line to try to qualify. You're seeing it now 1-1, really close game one. Usually these are the highest scoring games of the series, but with two teams that are so evenly matched as this, might be the exception. Wesley maybe trying to get a goal lead, but Bubbly has something to say about it. The pass goes wide. Vogs is there to meet it, and Vogs 5 shots, 2 goals with a beautiful pass from Reaper.
In the time I've played with Bubbly and the time I've played against him, that is the most dangerous position you could ever put him in. He is so good on the top half of the box, catching the ball. He is impossible to read. You have no idea what he's going to do with the ball. 90% of the time, he just pops the ball over your head and plays around you. And with the physical play that he presents, that's another threat, but also his ground game, underrated for me, has done such a good job there of just working around the defender, and as a result is able to get a clean pass to Vogs, who, again, like I said, is going to be the goal scorer for this Flyers team. When he is on, St. Cloud are a tough team to crack, but Bloomington did win this matchup in the regular season. Like I said, this team has a history of beating St. Cloud. Will they repeat that, or will history be rewritten for the Flyers? 58 seconds left in game number 1. What do St. Cloud have here on the offensive end? Pressing forward. Clear comes out. Trash, though. Good pop touch. Comet's there to clear it away. Bubbly, not a lot of time, gets over 1. Zodak's last back has to deal with this, and does, but his touch was a great, kind of gets away from him. Vogs off the backboard. Trash is up. Maybe one more touch. A flip reset down. Possible chance, but Bubbly now last back, and he feels comfortable in this situation. With how Bubbly plays, easily bangs the ball down the field, and Trash and Vogs really pressing the offense here, forcing Wesley and obviously Comet to commit, but Vogs goes missing. Zodak will be beaten to the ball by Bubbly Reaper. Huge beat on the ball as only 15 seconds remain, and St. Cloud are locking Bloomington down.
Yeah, and that shot putting even more pressure on the side of Bloomington. How much more do they have left? 5 seconds. There's a spearheaded attack down the field. The Musty goes to the backboard, but Trash is there to meet it. Clears it out. Doesn't hit the ground in time for the clock to expire. There's still life, and it is killed on the ground. Flyers take game 1 in close fashion off of a really good contribution from Boggs especially, but all the players on Flyers on offense at least playing really in tandem with each other.
And Vogs cleaning up, but you only saw the one goal from Wesley. Wesley had a nice shot off the backboard, hit that Reed double. And now in this game number 2, do we see the Bloomington Maulers maybe extend out a little bit? Because they had 7 saves in game 1, Ori. Do we see them extend out and try and get some more offensive chances?
I think that they should at least have a deeper third, because I've seen a lot of double commits on the defensive end come up from Flyers, and they still get a good touch out from those double commits, don't get me wrong, but when you have 2 players going for the same ball and using boost to go for the same ball, it makes it really hard to properly follow it up without getting even more out of position. So if they can kind of, and it's not like it's been one-off things, they've been doing it pretty consistently, at least in that game 1. If they're able to capitalize off of those times where they do commit, where they do bunch up, I feel like that's going to be their ticket to break through, because right now, most of the defense from Flyers is being played in the midfield and on the offensive end, if you get what I mean. They're suffocating Bloomington and meeting them and challenging them and blocking off their shots before they can even really get anything going. So they just need to break through that initial line that I think the Flyers have set up in their half, but we'll see.
Zodak has been really good in this matchup. I was looking back at the stats. Had a lot of the goals, a lot of the assists in this series. As Bubbly is surrounded by 2 players, able to clear the ball down the field, but somewhat gets out. Wesley off the ceiling, has nothing to take for it, but his teammate in Comet is there to take the 50, but Comet, ball was taken off his head. Trash gets a beat. Now it's just Zodak back, tail between his legs. Great pass down between Comet and Zodak, but shot gonna go wide. And again, Bloomington sitting on their laurels, trying to press forward, but St. Cloud's defense is really, really discombobulated right now in the front half of this game. I want to see more structure from them, because they're very good when they move the ball to each other. That was a bump on the play. Bubbly got the bump, and the pass from Boggs, pass to Boggs, and Bubbly, I love this play, bumps Comet out of the way, slams him home, and Boggs has the free open net and an easy read. As now game number 2 is controlled by St. Cloud, who have started off hot, Ori. They've not slowed down since that game 1.
Yeah, and that double tap on the open, that's not just for style points. He had a defender in his way, but just had the initial beat on him, decided to pop it over just to secure that clear past him. But yeah, in this game 2, they have a 1-goal lead early on. 3 minutes
what
left.
A shot.
But it's enough
save
for them to respond, but not if Trash has anything to say about it as he clears it off the goal line. Miracle save to keep them alive. Comet in the air looking for the bump, the fake, the decoy play doesn't work out. The shot goes wide. Boggs is there to recover to meet the challenge. And yet again, St. Cloud not going to let this game be tied up. They hold on to their 1-goal lead. Zodak to the corner, trying to get even more offense coming out. Trash, that's dangerous in the midfield. Wesley's there to meet it. Boggs there to meet Wesley's touch. Now trying to follow up the side wall. Doesn't get it, but gets it around the defender still. Boggs to the middle, off the backboard. Nobody in that. Comet comes out from the ceiling of his net to beat it. So much pressure. St. Cloud for a small moment break out, but we're right back on defense.
No boost here again. Bloomington caught out Fox. Pop touch for Trash. Maybe a fake off the backboard, and he just lets it go. And you see the smile on the cams on his face as Vogs pops it up. Trash completely fakes out all 3 players from Bloomington who don't make any contact on the ball. And that one going to find the back of the net here. St. Cloud up 2-0 and in control of game number 2. But here's the thing, Ori, since they've had such a hot start, will they, obviously let that get to their head, or will they keep the foot on the gas? I would like for them to keep the foot on the gas, obviously, because, we did pick them to win, but we know this team can get caught on overcommits. I mean, looking at the Bloomington replays, that definitely was the case, but you really have to make sure you're in control of this series, and I don't know why teams haven't been using timeouts. They do exist. I don't know why. Maybe they didn't know, but I maybe should have included that in the information that about play-ins. But timeouts do exist. You do get a 2-minute timeout, and it's not only in the major. It's Comet. What a shot from him! The pop goes right up to him. Zodak finds him downfield, and a great pass and shot from Bloomington. Cut the lead in half.
I think Bubbly might have been caught with just low boost in his net. It looked like he wanted to go for that, but either he was beat or he just couldn't get there in time. We're just hoping to try to react to that shot, but it's so close to the net and he places it so well. Almost gets one right back, but it's denied away. Another shot falling through, but it's easily read by Wesley, who plays it into the corner, has some boost to work with. The pass was really high and wide. Zodak still tries to meet it, but Comet now in a defensive position. Fends for himself, but buys so much time with those touches. Actually turns it into an offensive possession. It's a beautiful play on the sidewall. Almost get a goal off of it. Bubbly, what does he have? Plays under one, that 50. A little bit dangerous, but Comet will collect again off the sidewall. Not able to find anything there. Vogs with a big clear out. Doesn't find the 50 on Zodak. That's a dangerous shot. Trash, just on his last leg, is able to meet it. Now down the other end of the field. Just played harmlessly into the corner. Pops up high. Vogs there to meet it again. Gets another touch around Wesley. They're starting to set up camp on Bloomington's side right now.
This is all the way across the field. 30 seconds. Another 2-1 game. Will Bloomington have an answer here? Oh. Shot from Wesley. The pass goes middle. And Wesley able to rifle it home. Off of this pass from Zodak. Just beats to the corner and Bubbly gets caught. Open net for Wesley. Slams it home. And 23 seconds left. You got to think that Bloomington come back down 2-0. And they get back into this game. Do they squander, though, this game on the kickoff? It doesn't look like it, as Vogs is somewhat dunked. Comet across the field. Maybe one more touch. Trash does go missing. And Hop going to be all the way around the field. Wesley towards midfield. Zodak was waiting on it, and Vogs kind of threw the ball away a little bit. Now 3 seconds left. What do they have with low time? They're going to let it hit the ground. And game number 2 will go to overtime, Ori.
Yeah, and I mean, both of these matches so far have been so close. Game 1 was a 1-goal game, and this one's going to follow suit. Overtime only lasts as long as a kickoff goal. Trash on the counterattack from the 50 win off the cheat, and Zodak just caught awkward in net. And, I mean, Flyers will come out on top of that one. And like you said with a timeout, I don't know if Maulers are going to use it, but I think they definitely should. It's not like they're getting blown out right now, but losing 2 close games isn't really the best way to start with the momentum. And if you let a team like Flyers heat up like that, I really don't think that's going to be... that's not in your best interest.
And obviously Vogs has 1 goal in that game, an assist and 2 saves, but Trash with 667 points. A great game from him. 2 for 4, putting up 3 saves as well. Bubbly gets the 2 assists, but you know, Bubbly is kind of the dirty work player for me. Really is the guy who can make people, miss, make people commit on touches that just, aren't necessarily working for them. But we know what Bubbly can do for his team, and it's important for Bubbly to make sure that he stays on track and doesn't get caught, because he got caught on that 2-2 goal, and that can't happen again if they're gonna win game number 3. But game number 3, here we go. Ori, this should be a good one. I'm excited for it because we have got more Rocket League still left to play. This one a best of 7 still, obviously, but game number 3. do we see a rebuttal from Bloomington, or do St. Cloud go on to a very quick match point?
Yeah, and I mean, if you're Bloomington, you really, this is a very crucial game. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. You can go down 0-2. Your series is not over. There's still, especially if you win the following game and make it 1-2, you still have room left to breathe. You still have a fighting chance. But when you go down 0-3, that's so tough. But Comet trying to make them not go down to have to fight back on the reverse super flip reset is not enough to get it through.
What a save, though, from Bubbly Reaper. Says no on the goal line. Comet, maybe one more touch. 50 against Bubbly, and Bubbly has been the guy to really cut out a lot of these plays. As Trash kind of gets caught, has boost, but is able to get over top of Wesley. And I will say that if there is a player to beat this St. Cloud team, it would be Wesley. Has a great history against a lot of these players. Even Zodak does against Bubbly Reaper. And I talked to Bubbly a ton, obviously, but I talked to him before this series, and I asked him what the one team he would not want to face. He said behind Mankato, it would be Bloomington. As Trash, flip reset, tries to get by Comet, but that's shut down quick. Boggs has a shot to the right side, but Wesley has the save, and Comet clears the line. Great pass across. They find Boggs, but now Trash is up. No boost left on his. Touch as Comet goes front side, maybe gets one more touch, fakes out Bubbly, flip reset is there, but there's Boggs to turn it away. Great defense from St. Cloud so far. Ori, what? I mean, for me, it's been the structure. What about you? What do you think St. Cloud is doing to shut down this Bloomington offense that is very potent, one of the best in Premier?
I think that they're just meeting them on, I said this earlier, I think they're just meeting them in the midfield.
What?
I'm sorry. I almost find this way through. It feels like, yeah, they're making good goal line saves, don't get me wrong, but a lot of their shutdowns on any offensive attack from Bloomington happen so early on in the play that Bloomington's not able to get anything out of it. Trash just forces his way through with that 50 off of a nice corner read from Bubbly. Threatens Comet, just left him 1v2, yeah. He finds his way through, but I think Flyers are just the midfield, they're dominating the midfield a lot more, and they're not, since they're doing that, Bloomington aren't able to really get anything going. They're not able to clear it out from the defensive half. They're not able to make those passes, to set up the solo plays. It's just so suffocating when you're not able to get it out of your own half. That could have been an opportunity, but it's gone by the wayside, but they still have more offense left to give.
Pass midfield was looking for somebody. Trash goes missing, but continues on. One more touch from Zodak to Comet, but Wesley comes in for the shot, but it's turned away by Bubbly, and Bubbly has been the X factor on a lot of these challenges so far. It doesn't bring, a ton of mechanics to the board, but is so difficult to play against just because him being such a strong ground player, it just seems like he constantly has a challenge on the ball. Midfield pass, Comet, maybe a shot, gets the double and has it, and Comet ties the game. He's been huge on the offensive side of the ball for Bloomington.
You're talking about how structured St. Cloud was, and that double commit was not the sole reason, but a really big reason why that goal was made possible. The player, no one really in a good position to get another touch on that after it was saved away, but they have an opportunity to get it back. Trash on the flip reset, doesn't find anything, but it fakes out the ball for Bubbly, who puts it high off the crossbar, but he has another chance and puts it high again. Defense still caught out, though. They still have opportunity to salvage that. Hit out to midfield. Trash will pass it over. Bubbly has some space to work with. Comet's there to meet him on the sidewall, though. Not able to get the reset pass over to Wesley. Gets the pinch out. Trash is there to meet it. Beat by Zodak, though. That's dangerous. Wesley can't quite reach it. Had to use every inch of his car to try to get there. Comet with another double tap attempt, but Trash is there to meet him. No boost. Still makes the save. Boggs on the counter attack. What does he have? Goes under one. Has the flip reset. Bubbly can't make contact on the bump. Trash keeps it in, but now it's dangerous. Comet, their counter attack gets cut off by Bubbly. That goes awry. And Zodak, luckily they're back to make sure that play doesn't get too out of hand.
Boggs looking infield. Trash chooses not to commit. Flip reset from Zodak. Shut down immediately by Boggs, who didn't want to see any shenanigans there as Zodak gets to the sidewall, kind of gives the ball away, though, to St. Cloud. Trash gets a bump on Comet. Boggs over one. This is scary now as he's got a dribble and a chance, but off the spawn. Trash flip reset, maybe off the backboard. Find a Vogs. He hits the post. St. Cloud just giving some love taps here as Bubbly Reaper last back. Has to think about what he wants to do with this ball as Wesley does go missing. Doesn't have a touch midfield. Zodak looking for a back pass to Comet. They're running into each other. This is chaos on the front half of Bloomington's side as Vogs towards net will be turned away, I thought, by Wesley, but Bubbly back towards middle. Vogs is there. Maybe one more drop down, but Comet has the clear away. And the collect. This is off the backboard from Trash. Is anyone home? It's Vogs. He hits the bar. And we go to one more overtime once again. Do we see another win for St. Cloud, or do Bloomington finally have that rebuttal? It doesn't look great. Ball's gonna skip in front of their box. It just floats in, and Trash has another overtime winner. St. Cloud's one game away.
I was about to talk about this of why St. Cloud just feel like they're bullying Bloomington right now. The physicality, and that goal was mainly caused by the physicality. Bubbly flying across the net forces the defender in net to have to jump, but that ball is not in a position for him to be able to aerial for it, and it forces Ballers in just such an awkward spot, and Flyers extending their rotations deep into Mahler's half. They're not afraid to go for that boost deal, to go for that bump, to really slow them down. On top of that, their challenges are so quick. They've been beating Maulers to so many kind of loose balls where it could have gone either way. They're coming out on top of those more often than not, and it's just so suffocating to play when you're getting beat to most things and you try to get back, but you don't really have any boost to make a good aerial. You have to play really kind of slow and grounded, and it all just spirals into just to what we're watching right now, where yeah, these matches definitely are not one-sided. Series doesn't really reflect it, but I mean, I've said it and you said it before, is that good teams find a way to win. The better team in these close games usually is the one that comes out on top, and St. Cloud right now, they've come out 3 times on these close games, and Bloomington have come out 0. It's not over, but 3-0 up in the series now. Flyers look to take it away.
What do St. Cloud have here in this game for? Can they close it out? Can they put Bloomington down? Maybe it's a Comet shot, hits the first. And he's been so good this series. Has found a lot of great shots off of Zodak's pass all the way down the field. Once again, it's Zodak and Comet. And ever since that game 1, we haven't seen much of Wesley. Will he show up in this series? But game number 4 is owned by the Maulers so far. 14 seconds in. Do St. Cloud have an answer? So far, it's really, Vox has scored goals, but it's been Trash and Bubbly on the front half of the box, just completely deleting Maulers players.
Yeah, and like I said, it's just so suffocating to play with that play style that they have. The pass goes middle, the shot finds its way through. And what are you to do if you're on the side of Maulers? You're boost starved, you're getting bumped, you're getting harassed. You think, oh, Bubbly's gonna shoot it. No, it's a pass middle, top right, 116 bar, almost bar down. And I mean, only 1-1, but now that's a big momentum play swinging in the side of St. Cloud.
Right off the kickoff, Comet. Maybe a one more off the flip reset, gets the bump on Bubbly, deletes him from the field. It's a big defender to lose, as Bubbly is a very good defender in his own rights, but you definitely want him on the field when you're stopping a lot of these players that, make these aerial plays. As Trash gets a monster clear down the field. Bubbly's up. Maybe one more touch. Trash is there for the shot, but can't get it on target. Wesley, good play. I like that. Slowing down the play a little bit. Makes a player miss, and I don't like that, because that's going to go right back at his nets, and we'll get the 50 as it won't go, directly in, but leaves Bubbly. There he is at the midfield line. Doesn't have a ton of boost. Fogs over 1. Maybe a double off the backboard. Gets the pinch down. Trash has a shot. Will be saved by Wesley. Bloomington, this is what they're known for. Good, solid defensive play. As Comet gets the ball and has a dunk, but can't get it through. And that's the back line physical play that St. Cloud is so good at. What a stop save goal line by Zodak. Huge save as he keeps Bloomington in it.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been a depressing goal to let through.
No.
Oh, no. As I was talking about a depressing goal to let through, I mean, Comet 50, it's just cluttered. goes over Wesley. Their last man's getting bump chased, and he has to rotate wide anyway, no boost. And just the sustained pressure off that offensive demo led them through to that goal. 3 minutes left, though, so much time left to play. This has been the highest scoring game, at least for the time that we've had so far. And I don't think Bloomington are wanting to let it end right here.
Good pass across. Maybe somebody there, but it's only Comet. Has been the only one really for me that has shown up for Bloomington in this series. Besides him, Wesley and Zodak have gone completely quiet on the offensive end. I want to see more from them. I know they're capable of it. We know what Wesley's capable of on that offensive side of the ball. Is very good when he has the ball on his car. But again, the physicality of St. Cloud are forcing, there it is again, are forcing Bloomington to just throw the ball away consistently. As Bubbly has been a terror on the back half of Bloomington, has had a great series so far. And, you know, we didn't see him in the major, was hurt, he cut his thumb open at work and wasn't able to play the major. They played it with Prussia, did very well as they made it to the final. But obviously having him back has got to be a relief for Trash and Boggs, because you see what they can do with him on the roster.
Yeah, and especially, I mean, Boggs on the stat line has been, you know, the main goal scorer for, I think, Premier in general, but you can see with the way Flyers play, it's just kind of, it just funnels into him. Like, it's not like he's forcing solo plays or being a ball hog. He's just, the offense just is structured so well that they always put him in the right spot to be on the receiving end of those, and he's been so deadly on executing on it. That's still dangerous out, though. Zodak doesn't have any boost to really do anything with it. That touchdown still dangerous. Comet to the backboard. Misses the shot. It's out to Zodak. Touch out wide. Bit high. Wesley still having to play it out to the ceiling. Not able to find anything on target, and Flyers will get away with that one.
Oh, no, did they? Flyers got away with it. Bubbly all the way down. A minute 09 to go, and Bubbly is terrorizing Bloomington at this point. Taking their namesake and putting it against them. Bubbly has been a mauler in this series so far. Completely dunks that player on the side wall. Bloomington now down by 2. And what have I said at the beginning of the series? If they have to overextend, are they going to be able to handle it? And so far they have not. Trash, one touch forward. Boggs, that's a good touch. Trash maybe off the sidewall. Is there for the pass, and it's going to go across to Bubbly. Maybe one more touch. Wesley, though, may have a shot. It does, but there's Boggs, the third man for really St. Cloud to shut down a lot of the offensive chances. And there he is again, 40 seconds left. St. Cloud controlling this series.
Yeah, and that one really needed to fall its way through. The defender was kind of caught a little flat-footed in net with low boost. They had 2 players that could have hit it either way. 2 demos coming through. It's an opportunity.
Oh.
But Bubbly, yet again, is there to thwart any sort of offensive hope that Bloomington have. And as time ticks down, the ball played slowly in the corner. That's dangerous. They have a chance. They find its way finally past St. Cloud's defense. They make it a 1-goal game with just 15 seconds left.
That's a great touch across. Bubbly gets caught out midfield. Wesley's on the board here in game number 4. But will that be the goal that gets them back in? Right now, it's got to be an insurmountable task for Bloomington to get done, but they definitely can get it done. Here's game number 4 with only 6 seconds left. St. Cloud is 3 seconds away. Bloomington on their last life. Can they get it done? It's going to go off the bar and hit the ground. And St. Cloud make quick work of the Bloomington Maulers.
And I mean, that's a statement game to have a close game like that. Both teams knowing how tough of a match it's going to be, and for Flyers to, I mean, none of these games are really run-away games, but the series definitely was. I mean, you can say, oh, they were 1-goal games, you know, it was close, we had them sometimes. You know, we lost an OT off kickoff goals, but when it's 4-0, I mean, there's a reason why they're winning those close games over and over and over again. And at the end of the day, especially at this level, every single little thing matters. And when they're just putting in just that little more oomph, especially on the physical side, you saw, I think in the last game, you finally saw some demo play start to come out from Bloomington, but it was just too little too late. Yeah. Flyers the entire series were pressing the envelope on the pace, on the physicality side. They were in control of the pace of the game, and once you're in control of that, you're usually in a really comfortable spot.
Definitely, and I like what you said about the pace of the game. When you are in control of the pace of that game, it really puts you in a great spot to win. But I mean, goodness gracious, Bloomington get absolutely decimated. But I mean, you have to give Bloomington credit though. They played a good series, had a lot of great shots that they put on target. But St. Cloud's defense really, for me, just stepped up completely. And you have to talk about what that does. That sends Bloomington down to the lower bracket, where they play a hungry Chicago Jungle, who they were waiting for somebody to drop down, and now that they have dropped down, is Chicago just going to make quick work of them? I mean, we're obviously not going to be able to watch that match, as that's going to go on in the next set at 7 p or at 4 p.m. Excuse me. We're going to be watching the upper qual next, but
we're actually ahead of schedule.
Yeah, we're ahead of schedule for the first time in ever.
But by 20 guys, not like 5 minutes.
Appreciate it.
We're ahead by 20 almost minutes. Half an hour. Right.
But
like,
yeah, it's good to obviously see that teams are playing their games. I don't know how the Derecho Atlas series is going. It would be a nice one to watch, but
I have Mogi on my friends list. I can
maybe check and see what the score of their game is. I don't know what the series score would be, but maybe the score of the game would tell you who's doing well. But
Mogi, it says he's in the main menu. He might be doing a preset change, but I think they might have just started finishing that up.
Des Moines. Okay, the score report just came in. Appreciate it, Ambrosia. Derecho defeating the Atlas 4-1.
4-1. Dang.
So that is obviously a big score line for Des Moines, because they're going to move on to the upper final, and they will take on St. Cloud. I'll get the bracket updated for you real quick, but absolutely a huge win for Des Moines as they take down the Atlas. And I was talking to Ambrosia, and there is a storyline behind their team. Obviously, Ambrosia and Fuego coming back together, but Ambrosia did inform me that he's hoping his internet will live through the rest of this play-in bracket, but regardless, the next round matchups are set.
Yeah, and are we going to have a 3 seed finally qualify for LAN? It seems like it hasn't happened ever. But, Des Moines are making a good run. At the start of Premier, people were praising this team. I mean, for good reason. You have Mogi, who is the most, if you look at his age and you look at what he does on the ball, there's a reason why people were fighting tooth and nail to try to draft him for the first pick, and it's not for all for nothing. It's not overhyped. 3rd seed, you win your play-in game, kind of breaking that curse, and almost in another sweep. We almost had 2 sweeps in the upper bracket, but 4-1. Ambrosia having internet issues, and that's really going to heavily affect your game. Don't get me wrong, but still. But next stream, we stream the lower semifinal. So we're ahead of schedule by a big margin.
We actually are streaming the upper qualifier, actually.
The upper final?
Yeah, we're actually streaming the upper final first, because we can't wait for the lower semifinal. The 2 teams down below, they have to play, and the 2 matches down below have to play. So
and those are just happening.
Yeah, those are just starting. Like in 15 minutes. So we'll go from the upper quarter, this upper quarter we just watched, to the upper final. So we'll see St. Cloud again, and then we'll go to the lower semifinal and then the lower final to end off the night. But any confusion, please ask. But it's I don't know why it wasn't blue on the sheet, why the lower semifinal wasn't on the sheet. Kind of confusing as to why people are messing with my stuff. But don't touch my gadgets. I got them all calibrated. But we'll have the next matchup in just a second. Yeah, some things to alter, Ori, but Derecho Flyers is up next. What are you looking forward to? This is a rematch from the major final.
I'm curious because, yeah, major final rematch, but also both these teams coming in really hot. Des Moines 4-1, St. Cloud 4-0. Both of them having a lot of momentum. You're seeing them at the top of their form. And it's the 3rd versus 4th seed. It's going to be another close match. And when you have two of these teams that can be so potent on both sides of the field. I mean, Mogi's not just known for his mechanics. He also makes really crazy goal line saves consistently. When you have two teams that on both ends of the pitch are really scary, it'll be that's got to be one of the better matches of tonight for sure. And all of these are going to be. I mean,
Definitely.
all of these not only just because it's premiere, but just because the importance behind these matches. I mean, if you lose, there's so much on the line. You're out for your season. You don't qualify for LAN. Your season is over. So sometimes it's just about who wants it more. Sometimes it's just about who's better. But I think that match between Des Moines and St. Cloud is just going to be who wants it more, who's going to come out on top in the end. But
And so, obviously, you see the bracket on the screen. What we have played so far: the Senators, Atlas, Jungle, Maulers. Those guys are going to kick off at 4. We're going to kick off Derecho Flyers at 4 as well. So, those 3 sets will play, and then we'll watch the lower semifinals, see how what 2 teams come out from the 2 bottom side. But we're going to send a team to LAN here at 4 p.m. and then we'll watch the lower semifinal, and then we'll watch that. Either a team again and then one of these 2 teams play against that lower sided team in that lower qualification. So 2 lives for Des Moines and St. Cloud here on the top side. And Ori, we're just going to digress from that series. And I just got to check something really quickly, but it's we're going to head to that we're going to head to that break, and we'll see you guys when the next match comes up. And it's a bit of an extended break, unfortunately, but I'll set it to 10 minutes for you. So we'll see you guys when that next match comes up.
Don't pause. Press play. Don't pause. Press play. Don't pause. Press play. Don't pause. Don't pause. Press play. 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 Don't pause. Press play. I wanna hear what you got to say. Press play. Press play. I wanna hear what you got to say. Don't pause, press play. Press play. Press play. Don't pause. Press play. Don't pause. Press play. Don't pause. Press play. Don't pause. Don't pause. Press play. 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 Don't pause. Press play. I wanna hear what you got to say. was just to let you in. I told you that one day ain't never enough. You tell me I hate you, I still call you up. If we don't got trust, we can never have love. I was putting in the hours, I was. But you were calling me a liar, 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 liar. Yeah, I've been putting in the hours, I was. And it's coming down to now and now and now and now and never. I was putting in the I'm sick of fighting the things that you said. I don't wanna burn all our bridges ahead. I'm tired of going to bed when you left me on red just to turn up the noise in my head. I told you that one day ain't never enough. You tell me I hate you, I still call you up. If we don't got trust, we can never have love. I was putting in the hours, I was. You were calling me a liar, 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 liar. Yeah, I've been putting in the hours, I was. And it's coming down to now and now and now and now and never. I was putting in the
When it's coming at you like monsters in the night, and you feel the danger that makes you wanna hide. When the cards are stacked against you and you're standing on the edge, now's the time, now's the time. Think about all the dreams you keep inside. Think about all the ones you love. I know this beating heart will be my guide. I know that we can overcome. When the world's so cold and we're losing hope, I need her, I need her. When the darkness comes and we're overrun, yeah, I need her. That's when we need each other.
Ladies and gentlemen, one team is going to write their names into that qualification spot. I did story. I picked up Dibbles. Me and you have had some insane series so far this weekend. This one is sure to be a good one. A rematch from the major final. It was Des Moines and St. Cloud who clashed in that. Tibbles ran into each other. It was Des Moines who came out on top. Can they do the same thing here? I don't know, because with the stomping that St. Cloud just put on, I don't know if there's a team that can beat them.
Yeah, a clean sweep, Stewie. I don't think we've had that so far in the play-in bracket. We might have had Rising Star, but definitely yesterday we didn't. So that is a huge statement coming in against a very dominant Des Moines team as well. Again, winning the major, and you know, I had some questions about Wolf coming into the season, but he has absolutely erased all doubt as well. But you know, they've been performing so well lately. But I believe we have all the players in the lobby, right, Stewie? I feel like they're ready to go.
They're ready to go. We're gonna send them.
It.
We're gonna hit it. And obviously, you see the bracket very quickly. It's been on the break screen for a bit, but starting lineups on your screen, friends. This is going to be one of the most fast-paced matchups you will ever see in Midwest Championship Series. Let's kick it off. Mogi on the ball. Trash already on the offensive side of the ball. Look for him and Vogs to be lethal. But it was really, in that last series, it was Bubbly who was putting away a lot of the chances in the clinching games. A lot of the offensive chances that he was creating for his team were lethal. And look for Vogs and Trash to clean it up. But physical play, Bubbly now on the field. They didn't have him in that major final. Tibbles, is he going to be the real difference?
I mean, he makes a huge difference. Who was their sub for that final?
Prussia.
Who was playing instead of him?
It was Prussia who subbed in, who isn't exactly a physical player or a faster player. I mean, no offense to Prussia, but that's just not how he plays the game. He's a smart player, that's right. And having Bubbly here, I feel like it's going to make the world of differences.
Yeah, and not only do you get the physical play and the speed, but you get the chemistry as well. Prussia's a great player, don't get me wrong, but you need to have that chemistry, and this is the perfect time to have it as well. And I'm curious about Mogi. I haven't seen too much of him, except for when he's been beating my team the few times that it's happened. That pings off the crossbar. Bubbly Reaper will hit it out, and it will be saved away. Trash and Bubbly, a little bit of a confusion out here. 50 coming from Wolf. He'll pick it up off the wall, back to the ceiling. Water and Vogs to 50. Another demo coming out from Wolf, and maybe some preemptive strikes on the physical plays. He knows that it'll come from Bubbly Reaper and trying to get in some of his own.
As we kick off the first almost 2 minutes now of game number 1. And no one finding the back of the net just yet. Des Moines has a good defense with how mechanical they are. We talked about it last night. The players who are mechanical are harder to get the ball by. It's just how it is. There's constantly have a challenge on the ball. They constantly are in such control of their car. I mean, look for Water and Mogi to be those people. Wolf, obviously a great third-man player, has a lot of defensive statistics in his own right. Actually is top of the leaderboard all time for saves in a game. So,
wow.
Look for him to be huge, but look for Vogs to be huge. Maybe a double off the backboard. Bubbly one more touch. Can he get around it? Bumps Des Moines player out of the way. It was Wolf. It's Trash sits in front of the ball. Vogs collects at the midfield line, and St. Cloud pressing now on offense, looking to strangle this Des Moines team to death. But it's Trash once again, who has been huge today on the 50-50 game.
He absolutely, completely pile drives that past Wolf there, and he's leading the league individually for assists per game, but he's the one scoring first in game 1 of this best of 7, just about halftime. Passing on this one, Wolf looking to change that. Trash on the defensive side now, but yeah, this is going to be the battle of the offense, I feel like. Stewie Vogs leading the league individually with goals per game, 1.36. That is an insane stat. That'll bounce off the backboard, but they will get it away. But for the Des Moines derecho, they lead in shots per game as a team and shooting percentage as well. So you better watch out if they got a shot on goal.
You better watch out, Tibbles, if they have a clean opportunity. Trash. Pass from Bubbly was clean, but there's Wolf at the midfield line to shut it down. Great defense from Des Moines so far, as they need to find an offensive shot here. Mogi actually waiting midfield for Waters' pass. Wolf maybe off the backboard. Mogi's there, has the shot, and that is so good. Des Moines is so insane on the front half of St. Cloud's box.
And Mogi giving credit to his teammate, even though that was one of the flashiest goals we've seen all weekend. He'll redirect that one in, and what a clean redirect it was. I mean, it was just beautiful and smooth the way he went up for that one. A beautiful response. Just about 1 minute, 40 seconds left. There might have been another one. Bubbly Reaper, his shot is saved away. Wolf now looking at dribble, snaking pass, but won't quite get it. Bubbly to the middle. Water will take that 50. Still in the Des Moines corner out here. Trash making his way back, making it awkward for the defense. Now, Vogs off the backboard. Great clear out from Water, but it's given back to Trash off the backboard. You were talked about before about Wolf's defensive capabilities. He knew that was coming, but they have to make a save now. They do. Bubbly Reaper, that's a miss there. but it just about made Des Moines awkward in the midfield.
Wolf with a great pressing touch, puts pressure on Bubbly, who rises to that task and is able to get out. Trash now 2-on-1. This is dangerous. St. Cloud, that's the offense you want to see. The leading assist player in the entirety of Premier on the ball, passing to the best goal scorer on Premier, but also a defensive structure in its own right. Wolf has the shot and is able to turn it in. And Vogs made a heroic effort on this goal line to make the save. Bubbly just couldn't get contact on it. And Wolf cleans it up.
It was a heroic save, but not enough on it, I think. And, you know, that shot, if I believe, I don't know if it was Water or Mogi, but if one of them had either had more momentum to get to that shot, it would have been in right away. But either way, Wolf will get that one through. Trash looking for one, trying to go low. Water won't fall for it. Back to the corner for Vogs. We'll get back to it, 50 with Wolf. He's so fast to the ball. Wolf has really impressed me. Like I said, the speed of this team to get past. Bubbly Reaper. That shot off target, but might have been trying to keep possession here. Just want to keep it in their half. It won't work now. Wolf down to the mid. Mogi keeping it in that corner. Just about 15 seconds left for St. Cloud to try and get back into this one. They need to get it out. Another big 50 from Water. Mogi on the wall. Back to the corner. Back to the backboard. Can he get there? 50's it through. 7 seconds left. He's come out big for his team here.
And Des Moines' offense has started to wake up. And you see what he can do with the ball on his car. Muscles that through Trash. And has that with 7 seconds left. Now in game number 1, commanding opportunity for Des Moines to take a 1-0 series lead. They likely will look to do it as time's going to likely expire on St. Cloud, and it will. Bounce going to go right to Mogi. 1 second left. And St. Cloud just going to disregard game 1 and move on to game 2. But, I mean, this is a similar scoreline from the Major. Major game number 1, grand final, Des Moines won at 4-1. That is oddly similar.
Yeah, great start, game 1 as well. And I'm hoping that we get a little bit more of a closer series than we did in that Major final. But the ratio with that great start that they wanted. And Mogi, hat trick to his name. Aerial goal, 2 saves as well, helping out on the defense. And I said that I was wondering what he would pull out on this one. And it's a full box of magic tricks, Stewie.
It's more than magic. I think it's Mogi magic is what we're
Mogi
looking
magic.
for. The Mogi magic, the name that we're searching for. But game number 1, taken by Des Moines. What do they need to do to continue this on? Because St. Cloud hasn't really been in a position at least for this weekend, where they have, been down. Obviously, one up 4-0 in their previous series, and now this game number 2 is absolutely huge for the drive that St. Cloud's trying to put together. If they can somehow, get their offense set up, they got to break through this Des Moines line, who have 5 saves in game 1, and they're only getting better on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, an issue that, Flyers might have had is that they kind of walked all over Bloomington. I don't know what was going on in that Mahler's camp last series in the upper quarterfinal, but it was a walk for the Flyers. They didn't really have to do all that much. And so you kind of have to get back to speed on this one. Des Moines is moving at such a fast pace. That's another one in. Wolf with a stellar 50 and 7 seconds in. They restart their hot run.
Fogs gets dunked on the sidewall. It goes directly in the back of the net, and St. Cloud is once again behind this wall that Des Moines has just set up on their 50-50 game. They're so good at winning their challenges into a point where either their teammates can follow up, or it's just a damn goal right after it. So St. Cloud need to clean up the 50-50 game, or look to, create physical plays against Des Moines, because Des Moines, the derechos, look lethal offensively to start this series. I absolutely love it. Shout out JTV as a counterattack. Trash and Vogs working it through. There it is, but Water stands in the way and gets the reset now on the other end.
Oh, what a pass.
Looking for the shots as Water was harassed on his back line by Bubbly Reaper, and now that one towards net. Fogs has to make the touch. No boost to his name. Bubbly got the corner. Not a ton. Mogi off the ceiling has the shot towards the net, and Trash has the save. But the one thing you need to look out for if you're on the side of St. Cloud, is the offensive output that really Des Moines can put through. Is Fox looks for a shot, but shut down by Water. And Des Moines' defense has really done a number on St. Cloud's offense so far, as Bubbly maybe have a shot off the backboard. Mogi's there for the read. Pump comes out from him, but Wolf collects. Great play to slow it down.
Flyers lucky not to be down 2 right now. A Mogi mistake, the reason that's not reality, but let's go back to the midfield. A chance for the Flyers. That's a double commit from Vogs and Trash. A shot on from Bubbly, but it is saved away. Flyers trying to put on some pressure. 0 boost for Vogs, and it seems like every time they're on offense, you know, they're not there. They either don't have any boost or they're not there for the shot. Trash was awkward. Bubbly has to make that save. Back in that Flyers corner. Let's get it past Water, but Wolf is there fast off the wall once again. Gets bumped. Vogs to send it forward. Trash over to the corner. Any ground they can make up for the Flyers is something they want to take, because, you know, the more Des Moines is in your half, the more they're going to take advantage. But this time it's Bubbly Reaper.
This time it's Bubbly and Vogs to combine. Vogs a massive dunk, and Wolf got caught on his back line. Wasn't ready, Tibbles, for that bounce to go in favor of St. Cloud. Now game number 2. These two teams are deadlocked at 1 apiece. 2:51 to go. Maybe a double off the backboard for Bubbly, but the win by Mogi all the way down the field. Fox has to collect on his corner. Not a ton of boost. We'll get some help from Trash. It's going to go all the way over to Bubbly Reaper and St. Cloud finding each other now, and that's what I want to see. Is the pump comes out. Mogi, though, avoids it and is able to get the ball away. Finds Wolf. Wolf all the way down the field for Water, but Wolf going to cut another play here. Trash will get the beat. Mogi being harassed by Vogs. And St. Cloud has done a number on Des Moines here so far in game number 2. This looks much better from St. Cloud, but once again, defense for me just needs to be a little bit cleaner. Not give, you know, Des Moines such clean opportunities, as Wolf will collect his corner and has 100 boost. And this is what you want to see. Des Moines player on the ball, Tibbles with 100 boost.
Yeah, I want to commend the defense that the Flyers are showing here, but it does feel like Des Moines has cooled down just a little bit from game 1. They're not quite on the ball as they once were. They're forced backwards here. Back to the midfield. Wolf in the corner now, trying to get a middle, but Bubbly Reaper will get that one away. Trash again off the wall. Off the ceiling, Mogi to it fast. This is a 50 game. Flying back and forth. Wolf getting downfield. Back to Trash.
No boost.
Kind of awkward on this one. Doesn't have a lot of options, but I really like that turn. He knew he had space, turned back into it, and was able to take a second look at what his options were.
Comes Wolf pressing forward. Lee finds Trash. Maybe a double off the backboard. Huge save from Water and Mogi. They combine to clear the line for Des Moines, but Fogg's looking for a double. Raby right back to him. Fogg's one more touch. They will get it over to Trash here, who has a double off the sidewall, maybe chance, but great play from Wolf to shut it down. And Wolf, for me, has been really structured in this game so far, and in this series has done a great job of keeping his defensive line and allowing Water and Mogi space with the ball.
Yeah, space with the ball they have, but not able to capitalize on it just yet. Wolf with that glued to his car will come down to the ceiling. Back to Trash, back to the midfield. Fox will just send that one forward. Wolf will send it flying back in the other direction. No second touch for him. Water will have to follow up on it as the third. Wolf making his way back. Kind of a lull in the play right here. 25 seconds left. Flyers looking to steal this one away. I mean, if they take a goal right here, they could get it. Vogs flipping, spinning, but is immediately challenged by Water. Now back the other way. Trash has to get a touch, and he does. Back to the middle. Mogi past one. He will actually just abandon that one. Maybe didn't have the boost for it. Probably Reaper downfield. Water to the ball. We might be heading to an OT here, Stewie, if we don't see a goal in the next 2 seconds, and that will touch the ground. OT in game 2. Here we go.
Wolf with a great veteran play to slow that play down. Tibbles right at the end of it, and he did a good job of not allowing St. Cloud an opportunity there at 0 seconds. Now into this overtime. Do St. Cloud even us up at 1 apiece? They've been knocking on the doorstep here this entire time, been really good on offense, and maybe Bubbly Reaper's the guy to do it, as Wolf double off the backboard chance, and there's Vogs to shut it down. Mogi off the backboard again. Des Moines are pressing, really trying to squeeze the life out of St. Cloud here as Mogi and Wolf run into each other, but Wolf better for it though. Knocks the 50 in, has the shot, but it's kind of weak as Water pops. Tries for one more touch. Can't get by that defender. Big miss. No points. No boost for Bubbly. And a 2-0 series advantage to the Des Moines derecho.
As soon as Water sends that to the ceiling, you know that Bubbly has to get a touch. He doesn't. Behind that whole scene, behind the play, is Mogi waiting for his opportunity to shoot it on goal. And he has an opening right in that bottom left, hits it perfectly. And the derecho will take game 2. And Wolf, I mean, Water kind of disappeared in that. I mean, he had an assist, to be fair, but
132
and a
points.
shot as well.
Yeah, he still did solid.
Yeah, no, he did fine. But Wolf, I mean, he absolutely, stood up on this one. He stood out. 4 shots, 1 goal, and 2 saves as well. Not only is he doing the defensive duties that you mentioned before, but he's helping out on offense as well against, a Flyers team who is playing pretty well, but it seems like everything they do is just shut down by the Des Moines derecho here.
And Des Moines has had really good defensive series. Obviously, Wolf, you saw multiple times on the back line, was shutting down a lot of the offensive chances that St. Cloud was trying to produce. And when you have a player that's playing that deep, it really gives you a lot of structure and a lot of ability to make sure that, there's a defensive player, make sure that your third man is always in the play. And with St. Cloud, with how physical they're playing, it's important for them to make sure that they have structure behind them. But now game number 3, St. Cloud really on the back foot here. Des Moines has come out hot and won 2 really close games, but will we see a reversal of fortunes?
Well, wait, we'll have to see, but, yesterday in the series that we saw in the Challenger League, we saw how hard it was to come back from a match point when a team is on it, like Fargo. It took them a game where they lost, but then they won the next game. So I have to imagine here that if Des Moines take game 3, it is a very uphill battle and not likely to happen for the Flyers, but thankfully for them, even if they do lose the series, they do still have that lower bracket final possibility to try and qualify. But of course they don't want it to go there. Game 3, they want to take this and half that deficit on the series score. Now Water with the Des Moines side, trying to get it down to the corner here. Vogs will just send it the other way. Wolf and Water waiting for it, but Wolf will opt to take it instead. Bubbly, very patient. Trash right next to each other. A little bit off right on the rotation here. Water past him. Bogey trying to get that pass through. Wolf down to the ceiling. Down to the ground again. Mogi to the backboard. That's an awkward touch from Bubbly, but no follow-up. Onto the backboard from Water. Gets him past another one. Flyers seems to be on the rocks here, but somehow they survive.
No boost for them either. Mogi double off the backboard. Chance. Another one. As finally Bubbly Reaper clears the line. A monster clear down the field. We'll put Water in a tough spot. Vogs will get demoed, and Bubbly gets demoed as well. And now it's just Trash last back. That's one touch, but tries to dunk Water and somewhat does, but there's Vogs to turn it away. There's one more touch. Mogi, dangerous, 1v1. Will Wade is Trash as he gets the clear all the way down the field. Water will collect. This is what Des Moines do so well. They slow the game down and get full possession. And this is scary as he's got a pinch shot directly on target. Vogs has no idea where Water's going to shoot that ball. Now Mogi, good pop touch over one, has the air dribble and gets over top of everyone.
That he does off the wall. It pings back the other way. Bubbly Reaper has a third man, recognized the danger, but it was too late to keep Mogi out of that net. He's inevitable sometimes. All you can do is stand and watch and say, good job. I mean, what can you do there? But Flyers, they're going to have to figure out something soon. 2 minutes in, that is the first goal for derecho. They're not out of it yet, but a whole lot more work to do. Now Mogi over to Wolf. Back to the backboard. Can he get there? Over to the middle. Trash trying to get that one out. I'm looking for Flyers to be a little more, smartly aggressive, intelligently aggressive. I saw Wolf, go wildly at a challenge as first man before, and there wasn't really anybody on the Flyers side to take advantage of it.
Trash gonna commit. Will get one touch forward, but doesn't get a lot on it, and it's Wolf to turn it away. Finds Water midfield, and again, more space for Des Moines, who are getting deleted off the field now, maybe by Bubbly, but another 1-goal lead for them, and it's been the bane of St. Cloud so far as they just can't get it going. Water, a free shot, has it right side, slams it home, and Des Moines just are playing solid enough to where they're capitalizing on these St. Cloud mistakes.
damage control needed from St. Cloud there. You saw the double commit. The hit didn't go where they wanted it. I think it was Vogs trying to make his way back as fast as possible. He was the first man trying to make it back to third, but just not in time as well. I feel like that's a reoccurring story for the derecho. They just get that opportunity. They're going to take it. There was really only one big mistake from Mogi, and they still won that game anyway. Almost a fake from Vogs. Almost gets it past, but he might have an opportunity now. Just hits it downfield. Wolf might have it on. Doesn't have the angle. Great flick over to the middle, but
what?
it will be flicked all the way down. Bubbly with the hit. No, he doesn't have it. Vogs trying to pop that one up. Trashed with the double down. Off the backboard. Vogs there as well, but they can't get it through.
Pass across. Vogs is there. The shot's on target, and Bubbly finds Vogs once again. And this is a great pass from Bubbly. He just doesn't, throw it towards net, passes it over, and is able to get it on target. Bubbly also bumped Water out of the way to make sure to confirm that goal into the back of the net, but now they cut the lead in half. They're able to get through Tibbles, but once again, it's the bane of St. Cloud's existence right now. They can only get through once or twice, and Des Moines puts in 3. So you have got to find a way to shut down this Des Moines offense, whether, it be, more bumps and demos on their front half as Bubbly nearly dimes Mogi. Water towards net. Awkward save from St. Cloud, and Vogs has it away. One more touch is Trash as he looks forward. Tries to press 2-on-1. Will not have that on target as Water was likely going to be bumped off the field and was bumped by Bubbly, but his shot just doesn't come through. And the physical plays are working, yes, Tibbles, but the shots are not there for St. Cloud.
That first goal, they add another one. Wolf will save that away, but that first goal for St. Cloud, I stopped talking about 5 seconds too soon, saying they were not able to break through, and they weren't able to really do anything to give themselves opportunities. But that infield pass absolutely worked. They found a free player that Des Moines were not covering, got a pass to it, put a shot on target, and there it is. I mean, it's really that simple if you think about it. You just got to do that again. And it seems like they're going for those physical plays. Probably went for one, but it just didn't quite work out. You need to change it up. You need to adapt. You have 25 seconds before Des Moines is on match point.
Great read from Vogs. Bubbly somewhat gets a counterattack here, but it's stolen by Mogi, who kind of dimes the midfield, but gets back to the ball. Good speed from him as he's got time and only 10 seconds left here. They have to get by Des Moines' entire defense, who are set up and ready, but 3-on-1 is no booster. St. Cloud Trash over 0 seconds, has a flip reset, but can't get it, and it's going to be a monster clear down the field. Vogs keeps it up. 0 seconds as Wolf times it perfectly and shuts it down. Des Moines are 1 game away from a land spot.
1 game away. We talked yesterday about how hard that can be, the mindset that you're in, thinking just, all right, one more. We got it. We absolutely got it. And I can't disagree. I mean, really, we talked about how hard that is, but it seems like Des Moines are just on a different level. Whatever Flyers are trying, all right, they got through once, but can they do it twice? Can they match the offense, the speed, the precision that Des Moines have shown time and time again? And we'll have to see it here in this game 4. I mean, Sui, I really don't want to see another sweep, especially for that land spot.
Yeah, definitely. And in other news, Mankato Atlas, they stay alive. They defeat, of course, they defeat St. Paul, excuse me. They defeat the St. Paul Senators in 5 games and eliminate St. Paul from the tournament. So the dream is not dead. Mankato is still alive and well in this tournament in the bottom side, and the winner of Jungle Bloomington gets Mankato. So we'll get to see Mankato on stream one final time, one last dance for those guys possibly. But regardless, now into game number 4. Do St. Cloud have a monumental comeback? They are all the way down the mountain, Tibbles. They're sitting at the bottom, and Des Moines are sitting at the peak. What will we see? Maybe it's Wolf to start it off. Gets a drop-down pass, but can't get the shot on target just yet. And once again, Des Moines threatening that St. Cloud half.
Preliminary readings show that they have a little bit more of a solid defense this game, but Stewie, for Flyers, it's going to take 5 minutes of perfect Rocket League. There it is, a Water save. will keep that one out, but they have to make sure everything is perfect, and they have to make sure they don't go down first. Oh, they could have had a goal right there. Everybody fakes. It's an air show out here in that Des Moines goal, and Flyers could have had an opportunity to make a statement for Game 4. They will have to leave it by the wayside, start again at square one, and go back on this one. That's a good demo on Mogi, one of the main players for Des Moines here. Water will just send that one forward, lob it up. And Mogi's really the only one up in the air going for it. Back to Trash. Over to Vogs. You like to see that kind of play. Off the backboard. Can he get there? No. Second touch. Trash, a soft one. Bubbly, but Wolf has the save nonetheless.
And Des Moines just continue to have an answer for this St. Cloud offense as Mogi's off the field. Vogs towards net. It's again saved as Water will spawn in and make the stop. Wolf will collect, gets the 50, it goes right to Bubbly Reaper, who has the shot. Fox towards net and has it finally as St. Cloud strike. And, I mean, this took a lot, though, to break this Des Moines line, Tibbles. It took a lot more than I would want to admit.
And it almost seemed like Mogi was waiting for that corner boost. It wasn't quite rewarded for his patience on the boost there, but wasn't quite sure. I only got a quick look at it, so I'm not completely sure, but that's exactly what it looked like. But that's what I was saying. That's exactly what the Flyers needed. They needed to make sure that they do not concede a goal first, because it seems like every time Des Moines do that, which is basically every game, if not every game, they just hold that lead, or they extend that lead. Either one. You know, game one, we saw them score 4 goals. Since then, they've been a little bit more quiet. They establish the lead and then let it happen. You know, establish that defense and make sure they don't concede any for the Flyers to tie it up. The fact the Flyers scored first here is absolutely crucial. They do block a goal away from Mogi here. That's a kind of an awkward pass from Wolf. It was way too far for Water to get to. Back in the Flyers corner. Another 50 from Trash. Des Moines have been so good about those 50s this whole series. Mogi, flip reset. Bubbly there. Patience is perfect there. Bubbly again with the tap. Trash again with the 50 up to the ceiling, but another Des Moines player getting demoed. But Mogi, just with that half rotation, gets demoed right after, but it doesn't matter. He did the job he needed to. That's Bubbly. One right there. Bubbly harassing Mogi. It doesn't matter. He still gets back for it, and they are denied their second goal.
Bubbly gets caught. Bubbly has been caught as Fox has no boost on his backline. Wolf towards the net. Water is there, maybe dropping it down, but can't find the shot. Wolf, backboard, cleared away. St. Cloud survive what seemed to be close to a dagger in their hearts as Wolf, off the backboard, will continue on with the ball, but leaves it for Water. Water, we know what he can do with the ball in his car. We know what all 3 Des Moines players can do. As Bubbly, somewhat towards net. Vox has the shot. It's an open net. Water can't get back to it. Des Moines finally get caught on their back line.
It's kind of an awkward challenge. It seemed like, for the first time this series, it seemed like Des Moines were chasing the ball around. It seems like they've always been in control. They've always known where it was, made smart challenges, especially Wolf and Mogi as well. And, you know, not to discredit Water as well. They've all been, you know, very, very good about making sure those challenges are good. Trash across that Des Moines goal right there. The Flyers have just been, they've brought it back. They've really made sure that they make Des Moines awkward and take advantage of the chances they were given. They didn't really do that in prior games. That's back to the back for Mogi. He will get a shot on target. Whoa! Crossbar down. No, it won't be in. Vogs awkward, but it doesn't matter. They do get it out finally from courtesy of Trash. Free flip on that one. Keeps it in the Des Moines corner. Mogi off the backboard now, coming off the ceiling. Kind of an awkward back flip, but doesn't quite make its mark for Wolf. Back to Water on the wall. Trying to get a 50 on this one over to the middle. Open net possibility. Bubbly Reaper is there. He can't make the save. It comes off the post, and Wolf will finish it off.
And this is a great 50 win again from Water. And Mogi puts it off the post, and it's the old miss your net trick strikes again. And that one gonna be missed by Mogi, but it's gonna go to the back of the net anyways, as Wolf was ready for the follow-up. Now, only 61 seconds here left in this game number 4. Life on the line for St. Cloud in this upper qualification. Des Moines up one game away only from getting in that land spot as Wolf looking to drop it down off the ceiling over one more pass, but Vogs has it away. Has a catch, maybe one over Mogi. Catches him out. Open net for Trash, and St. Cloud with a rebuttal, and it's Vogs to do it.
A taste of your own medicine, Des Moines. How is it? How do you feel? That shot off target. Trash will finish it off. And once again, that will extend the Flyers' lead to 2. And I'm happy for them. I have to be, because if Des Moines ties that game up 2-2 in Game 4 on match point, the thoughts going through your head for the Flyers as a miss from Bubbly. Vox will finish it off once again for the 4th goal for the Flyers. And 35 seconds left. They look to take Game 5 and their first of the series.
And it turns into a fake, Devils. Bubbly just can't get it locked in at this point. The shot just goes by the wayside, and it turns into a fake. Vox has been your goal scorer this game. 3 goals on 4, and Trash with 1 of them. But this is the game I was looking for Des Moines to not give up. This is the game I was also looking for St. Cloud Tibbles to get. A game where they dominate and get a lot of goals and, keep Des Moines down under the sun. But the Storm's been brewing for a while, for 3 games straight, and now in the 4th, it seems the Storm trackers from St. Cloud have an answer for now. But we were going to go to a game number 5, and St. Cloud, last life on the line, but they're living through it. And one more breath is all it's going to take, as this game going to come down to, or this series, going to come down to the 5th game and the 6th and possibly the 7th. Maybe the 6th, I meant.
Hopefully.
We want to go.
I did say Game 5 earlier. My apologies. I did mean Game 4 for the Flyers, but either way, it's a long road back. 3 games is what it's going to take for the Flyers to come out on this one and secure that land spot in this round right here. But the ratio, a little bit quiet on that one. I think they kind of let it go, and I just noticed that absolutely insane statistics, Stewie. 10 shots.
You don't see that often. You do not see that often by one player.
Double digits.
Yeah. Unreal game for Vogs, and that's a great play. But Bubbly Reaper with 10 demos on the board, getting physical on that game, able to somewhat slow down this offense that really has come about for this Des Moines side, is able to delete them off the pitch. And now in game number 5, what do we see from Des Moines? Do they go back to that offensive, destruction that they have? I screwed up the map. God dang it, we're not on Neo Tokyo just yet. we're on the wrong map, but regardless, we're gonna play 5 and 6 on Neo Tokyo, and we'll see how it goes. As game number 5, St. Cloud's still living. Tibbles, they're still moving on. Can they get it done one more time? After that, they gotta do it 3 times in a row. But for now, game 5 is all you can live for.
Yep, you gotta live in the moment. You gotta take it one game at a time.
Oh my God.
And that's really bad news for the Flyers. 13 seconds in. We've seen this story before. Derecho score early and are able to extend their lead even more. But for this one, it's Water. A sublime pass to Mogi, and he'll finish it off for him.
13 seconds in, and we have seen this story before. Like you said, when Des Moines score first, I would be interested to know that statistic as to how frequent they win games when they do score first. As Bubbly gets one more touch, the pump comes out, but there's Fox for the shot, but he turns it just wide, and that opportunity goes wayside, and maybe one you're going to want back for St. Cloud, because that was a surefire goal if you got it on target.
Yeah, that shooting accuracy coming back to bite them. Maybe they need to switch up with the Des Moines ratio, but considering they lead the league as a team for shooting accuracy, shooting percentage.
Whoa.
But that'll be it right there. Vogs to make an impact, and that early lead that Des Moines got very early on that I made questions about. Maybe they'll extend it. No, St. Cloud will come back on this one.
And it's Wolf, who was on the back line waiting for Water's touch. Water didn't get a read, got caught out, and St. Cloud have an answer. We answer the proverbial question that we were asking is, are St. Cloud, going to be able to answer with a goal to shut down this Des Moines offense, who, when they score first, have been so dangerous. Bubbly towards net. Has the save is Wolf. Is Bubbly, you switch to his POV, and he's probably chasing a player on the field as Bubbly has one more touch midfield, looking for Trash. He's there. The 50 comes out, but the shot just goes a little bit wide, and 50 from Vogs is going to keep the offensive pressure for St. Cloud. Looking infield, Bubbly is there. Can he pinch it? What a save by Volky on his goal line. Last breath, proverbially, that is an unreal denial in game 5.
The defense is just unimaginable in this series, Dewey, for Des Moines. I mean, they just defy all odds. I don't know how that didn't get in the back of their net, but they're going to have to take advantage of it here and maybe take that game that they need just to secure that land spot. Vogs gonna get that one out over to the corner. Wolf will pick it up instead. Not to a teammate. Back to the middle. Zero boost for Wolf. Wall dash, but it won't matter. He does get the demo, but we'll leave it for Trash. Back to the middle. Awkward for St. Cloud Flyers, and I'm reminded of what's happened in the past games where they look awkward on defense, where they're diving towards the ball, making last-ditch effort saves. Water off the backboard. Trash doesn't get it to the corner, but they'll have to deal with Mogi. Once again, coming off the ceiling. That's never a good sign for the other team. Gets that second touch. It's through. There's a bump on the back line, and Mogi strikes again.
I don't even think the bump mattered at this point. Mogi, an incredible angle, gets by both defenders, and that is an unreal shot to put that through. And honestly, this is insane. For Des Moines, they have scored 2 world-class goals in this game so far. As St. Cloud try and answer quickly, the fake comes out. Vogs was there for the shot, but once again, Des Moines hold on. And can they hold on for 2 minutes as so much time has elapsed? It may be a bump on Trash. Follow up from Wolf. He hits the backboard as Wolf will want that one back, but there's water on his back line. Dunked by Bubbly Reaper. Odd catch for Wolf as he is dunked. Trash, I don't know if he got beat. He did. It's all the way down the field. Water has it in. And it's a 3-1 advantage for Des Moines, who have woken up on offense once again.
That third man desperation. I've dealt with it before, Stewie. I know many players who have. You want to go for the ball. You want to keep it in the opposition half. You want to tie up the game and make sure that your life is intact. But if you go too early, I mean, Water was so fast to that ball. That third man was never beating him to it. And you get punished for it. Then they'll have to come back now. Bog's a little bit awkward. He has to make a back touch just to get it the other way. Trash to the middle, but kind of a throwaway one. Will give possession back to Mogi, up to the ceiling. Wolf up there first, over to himself, off the wall, off the corner. Boggs, wait, a 50, a bump from Bubbly. Trash trying to muscle his way through, but can't. Water standing his ground, and now it's back in the Flyers' corner once again. In 90 seconds, we've seen this time and time again. Game 1, Game 2, and Game 3 have all had that same effect where Des Moines have the lead. They keep the lead. That's it. That's the whole story right there. Can Flyers make that script change?
They delete Water off the field. Trash towards net. Bubbly has the redirect, but it's not on target. Vogs somewhat towards the net, but there's Mogi to turn it away. And once again, it is consistently this answer is Trash is somewhat of an open net, but no boost to work with as Mogi turns it away. Bubbly towards net is blocked by Water. And defense once again, maybe a double off the sidewall. Mogi has the read and has the goal.
No way. The windows for Flyers have been so few and far between, and Mogi says, all right, you're not going to score it. Fair enough. I'm going to take it instead. Double tap off the corner. Perfect placement. Back post on the right side. And less than a minute to go. 3-goal deficit for the Flyers. This mountain has never looked higher.
Mogi, they both committed. It was Trash and Bubbly trying to give somewhat of a chance for St. Cloud, who are facing elimination in 40 seconds. What do they have? It's Trash who's on the ball. Maybe has one more 50. Vogs will catch with 100 boosts. This is a good opportunity for St. Cloud. What can they get done? And it just seems like the bumps are working, but St. Cloud, it just cannot get a clean opportunity off of the physical plays. And now the physical plays go the other way. Water, 21 seconds, has all but confirmed this series in a land spot for the Des Moines Derecho, who climb completely out of the pits of hell to qualify for land.
That has absolutely been confirmed. So fast to the ball. Every challenge immaculate. Mogi having some unreal goals, unreal saves. All of the Des Moines Derecho have just been absolute perfection today. They absolutely deserve that land spot. That's a close one for the Flyers, but it won't matter. I think they will get that one, but 5 seconds left, Stewie. I mean, all right. It's technically possible, but I really don't think it's going to happen.
And Ambrosia brings up an important thing. This is a 3 seed that's qualified. This is like the first 3 seed to qualify for land, and
It has to
4
be.
goddamn seasons. I don't know,
Yeah.
but mother of God is Bubbly can't get by it. The touch is there. The 50 goes down. The storm has been brewing for a while, and it's gonna fly a little bit higher, and it's gonna fly in person. You're gonna see Wolf, Water, and Mogi compete for a land final as they punch their ticket to River Falls.
Rachel, you said that storm has been brewing. Their Flyers, they tried to glide through it, and their wings got wrecked. They got chewed up and spit right out of that storm. And Rachel, congratulations, you got that 3rd land spot. Yeah, absolutely unreal performance. And I felt like for the Flyers, I said it before, when Derecha scored, I think that 4th goal, I've lost count at this point. But that window that the Flyers had to score, there were so few that happened, and for such a short amount of time as well. They had to make it happen right at this millisecond, right? And all right, it didn't happen. All right, counterattack for Derecho. All right, they scored another goal on you. It's looking even worse for you than before. Yeah, just absolute madness from the Derecho, and absolute deserving winners here, Stewie.
Definitely, and in other news, we've got the score for Chicago and Bloomington. Bloomington goes 1 game out. They only win 1 total game out of their 2 series. They get defeated by the Chicago Jungle in a 5-game set, 4-1. So Chicago live, Mankato lives. That's really, really interesting, honestly, because we have our lower semifinal set then, and
that's going to be a great match.
That
I'm
is
so
going to be a
excited for
really
that,
good
Stewie.
match. I am excited for it as well. But
Is it you and I again?
I don't remember. I think it's Ori coming back. I believe Ori is coming back for this series, but don't want to spoil the next one. But regardless, huge win for Des Moines. And what do you think? About about Des Moines qualifying for land? They come out of they were I'm pretty sure they were the 7th seed before the major, if I'm not mistaken. They climbed all the way up to the 3rd.
Yep. Yeah, it's tough because if I were the 2 land teams that auto-qualified, right, through the regular season, didn't have to do play-ins, they auto-qualified right after the major happened, I would be worried. I'd be looking at my hours saying, all right, let's get these boys up. We got to be, high double digits, maybe even triple digits, because this Derecho team is so fast, so precise.
Tibbles, I think at the beginning of the season, people were talking about how this team, like you just mentioned, fast. This is a land team. When they get on land,
absolutely.
they are the dream team to have on land.
Yeah.
Like just dangerous the entire time.
Right. Yeah, you have to watch your back every single second of the game, and on land that can be so tiring as well. We've seen it in play-ins as well. When you have stakes that high, that can be so tiring, and they have taken a resounding win here and confirmed their land spot. So congratulations to them, but I believe we'll be taking a break before our next match.
Definitely, and I just gotta pick something very, very quickly, but here's the bracket so far. Atlas Jungle survive in both 5-game sets. Des Moines confirms their land spot in 5, and then St. Cloud drops down to the lower qual. They have another shot, Tibbles, like we've been talking about. They're not out of it just yet, but the bad news is they're gonna have to run into Chicago or Mankato, who, talking to Bubbly, Mankato is not the team they want to run into. He's telling me that he has a bad history against Ambrosia and Fuego, and playing his brother in Fishy. So I have to think that if you are on the side of on the Atlas, I hope Ambrosia's listening, because you want to get through the jungle here, but regardless, we'll have one of these teams playing St. Cloud later on. In that, and I have to set it to a random team. The Buffalo do not have a premier team, so if you see the Buffalo logo on the break screen, they're not playing. I promise you, they're not playing. But Tibbles, as always, appreciate you joining me for this series. I'll see you obviously the entire night as you're gonna cast the rest of the night. But yeah, I think I'm good to go for the break. And if you don't have anything else to say, we can send it to a very, very short break. About
I do have one thing.
5-ish minutes. What do you got, my friend?
All right, so yesterday we saw Mankato. They lost in the upper final, right? Went to the lower final, and they had to play a team that was on a big, hot streak. I believe it's the Des Moines derecho, correct?
It was indeed.
Yeah. And that went to Game 7. I believe that went to Game 7 OT.
It did.
So Flyers, be prepared. It might be, even if you get Jungle, even if Jungle pull through in this all-important next matchup to get into that lower final, watch your back, be careful, and make sure you play well, because it could go the distance.
Definitely. And appreciate those wise words from Tibbles. We're going to send it to a very, very short break, and we will see you guys with the lower semifinal, Atlas Jungle, coming up in just a short bit.
This feels a little too perfect how we are now. You think I throw a little caution, but I don't want this to change. Been waiting too long for a moment like this. Said that you won't leave, better off with me. The kind of feeling I can't explain. Like how it feels drenched in the moonlight. Like how it feels under the stars. A step out of bounds with our own plight. A push towards the peace in the hearts. If it rains down all on us, drown out the noise, and I'll trust the mirror, mirror on the wall. Is it fair to watch me fall? Broken up in pieces. Can you see me bleeding? Mirror, mirror, tell me please if these broken memories and I will be okay. Like how it feels drenched in the moonlight, like how it feels under the stars. A step out of bounds with our own plight, a push towards the peace in the hearts. If it rains down all on us, drown out the noise, and I'll trust the mirror, mirror on the wall. Is it fair to watch me fall, broken up in pieces? Can you see me bleeding? Mirror, mirror, tell me please, if these broken memories are enough to break free. Will it fix us slowly? Will it fix us? Mirror, mirror on the wall, is it fair to watch me fall, broken up in pieces? Can you see me bleeding? Mirror, mirror, tell me please, if these broken memories are enough to break free. Will it fix us slowly? Mirror, mirror on the wall, is it fair to watch me fall, broken up in pieces? Can you see me bleeding? Mirror, mirror, tell me please, if these broken memories are enough to break free. Will it fix us slowly?
They say that life's too short to be holding this tight. So why am I walking light? And in this world of light and color, I'm not afraid of the night. When this future's so bright, that I got all these friends and we're like, it's not the end. Whoa. This new world is ours. This new world is ours, and all these friends, and we're like, it's not the end. Whoa. This new world is ours. This new world is ours. This new world is ours. They say that life's too short, and I can feel in my bones the horizon is close now, now, now. And the world's been changing lately, but after the storm we come out strong now, now. And I got all these friends, and we're like, it's not the end. Whoa. This new world is ours. This new world is ours, and all these
Welcome back to the premiere stream of the Midwest Championship Series. This is the play-in bracket. This is for the final two teams to secure that land spot. We already have one team, the Des Moines Derecho, Wolf, Water, and Mogi have absolutely smashed it and got that ticket to land that they so desperately wanted. But hey, all right, we have another one to crown, but not just yet. We have a lower semifinal to do just first. That's Mankato Atlas and Chicago Jungle joining up right now. And, what do you think about this matchup? I mean, I think it's going to be mechanics flying everywhere, but I don't even think I can pick a winner here.
Yeah, it's tough because, Mankato, both of these rosters are so well-rounded. Chicago, I think Remzik and Stratus. I think Stratus is their third now. I haven't seen Jibes play.
Right.
Yeah. And then on the other end, you have Mankato, Ambrosia, Fuego, and Fishy. All of those players, not only have experience in the game, they've been playing for a while, but they have experience. And these players have been playing in this league for longer than I've been playing the game for. So they have a lot of experience in these types of situations, these types of high pressure, high intensity situations where their season's on the line, yada, yada, yada. These players, I think, are ready to meet that challenge. And I think if Ambrosia's internet isn't sabotaging him, I think that Mankato will take this in 6 games.
Yeah, that's a good prediction. I'm gonna go jungle. I think Stratus, not just for the sake of being, contrarian. I think Stratus has been absolutely killing it lately. This end of season, postseason kind of play that he's had is absolutely ridiculous. But the Goliaths that you mentioned, Ambrosia and Fuego, not only do they have CRL East experience when they qualified, I believe for fall 2022, if I'm not mistaken, they have that experience in the bag. And not only do they have that, they have LAN experience as well. They both won LAN with Elephant. So, yeah, this is going to be a very good matchup. I'm expecting a lot of mechanics flying through, but it's really the consistency, the defense coming through. Who can keep out the other team longer?
Fishy also winning Premier last season with
yeah, true.
his teammates. And I noticed, especially during that grand final series, there's a lot of really well-played defensive plays from Fishy. All these players play so well into each other as they try to create something here. Fishy causing some chaos on the back line. Not enough to get the ball through, though. Ambrosia, he has boost. He has a ceiling. He has a reset. Double tap attempt. Oh, my goodness!
We might as well expect it from Ambrosia at this point. Flies up to the ceiling like a rocket. Back off the backboard. Double tap as well. Up to the top of the goal. Nice shot coming out from both End and Remzik. When your opponents respect your shot and say, throw out a nice one in the chat, it's a nice one. So Ambrosia, that's his bread and butter, though. He scores those all the time. Sure, they're impressive, but man, he's hitting those all the time. So really, for the jungle, they have to watch out here. And once again, Ambrosia going for the Cookseer pinch, but Stratus on the defensive end. Kind of an awkward touch, almost goes into his own net, but doesn't have control of it. Fishy up for that one, trying to drop it in. It's off the crossbar, a little bit awkward for End and Remzik. They're both waiting for that one to come through. Now Ambrosia off the corner. No second touch. Fishy up on that one, but still in the jungle corner for now, and trying to keep possession of it.
The types of shots Ambrosia's going for right now, you can tell he's so confident. He went for a ceiling double, hit that, went for a Cuxer pinch right after that. Right after that, went for a flip reset corner read. He is feeling himself right now, and it's not at the sacrifice of being too risky. They've been able to hold themselves well in defense so far, keeping the jungle to 0 goals. And maybe I cursed them. That pinch is the other direction, and I should have just kept my mouth shut.
Yeah, I cursed them a little bit. Fuego trying to get up to that one, and a little bit of an awkward flip means the Remzik will beat him to it, get that open net. Ambrosia doing his best to get back to it, but can't. But, for the players going up against Ambrosia, when they say, maybe they have a little bit of trouble with it, he can be intimidating with those mechanics flying about, with the shots that he hits. You talked about what he's gone for already. First, that, ceiling double tap flying up to it. and the Cuxeer pinch right after. It can be very intimidating, but you have to meet him halfway. You have to be confident, and that's why I chose jungle here. Because if anybody is confident in themselves, they can do it, but it doesn't matter. Ambrosia, he's going to have something to say about it just about half time, and then they get a lead back.
Yeah, they keep their 1-goal lead alive. No one really in net. He just kind of took a pot shot. He realized that there is no one on defense that rotated back properly. They left a gap, and just like that, they take advantage of it. Fishy, maybe trying to widen this lead up. Tries to get to the ball, but can't. Stratus goes missing on that. Fuego has possession in the corner. He has boost. Met by Remzik, though. Beautiful challenge, but Ambrosia's there on the loose ball off the ceiling again. We've seen what he can do. He likes to pass it down to Fishy, who gets beat. The Fuego's there to collect it, keeping the pressure on. That's a shot, but it's not going to be on target. Forces the defense to respect it, though. All playing with kind of low boost here, and with the only person that really has anything, and that goes awry. Stratus meets him, though. Stays back. Not overcommit on that push-up field. And though doesn't have any boost left, but he finds the pass to Stratus, which is blocked away. And both teams right now feels like they're on pretty even footing.
Yeah, so far Jungle have been struggling to get to the challenges as fast as the Mankato Atlas here. Up in Ambrosia trying to get that second touch to come through. It is saved away by that defender there. Fuego floating up here. Going for the flip reset, trying to get a pass. Fakes past one, trying to get that second touch through as well, but will be eventually cleared out. And Jungle, it looks a little bit awkward on defense for them. Like, you know, they're one hit away from being scored on, and it's not in a good way. Disorganization coming through. Ambrosia this time attempting to make that save, but End will break through and tie up the game here.
That was a beautiful demo by End. They demoed that last man. That was really in a good spot to challenge the ball. Once that demo came through, no one was really in a good spot, and it opens up the gap enough, and it's tied. But yeah, for the most part, Atlas have been on the offensive end of things. They're really pushing the letter, but I mean, aside from Ambrosia cracking through, there hasn't really been much else. Which it's to the credit, Ambrosia's putting up a good showing. It's not like his teammates aren't there. It's just the defense is so strong from Jungle. As I say that, they've been caught overcommitting. Ambrosia can't find the angle. Now the counterattack opens up. Maybe Jungle find a goal lead here, but not if Fuego has anything to say about it. Ambrosia now back down the other end. Remzik has to turn on this, and does. That clear finds its way into the hands of Fishy, who has possession. Not a lot of boost, but that 50's dangerous. That's a shot that ends there. Fuego, so much offensive pressure now. They want to get their goal lead back, but will they find it?
Yeah, will they find it? That is the question. 20 seconds left. We might be heading into an overtime in game one. R.A. Remzik might have something to say about it, but good save from Fishy there to keep it in the corner. And Stratus, you know, I'm expecting a little bit more from him coming through. He has had touches on the ball, but it hasn't seemed as impactful as it seemed in the end of that season here. That's a big kill here downfield from Fuego here. Ambrosia in the corner. Get another 50. Stratus on the wall. Does keep it up, actually, but I come back to haunt them. Fuego in the corner. 2v1 right now, and trying to creep his way back. Fuego to the middle, but that will be cut out. And overtime in game one, and I can't imagine that every game will be like this, but definitely could be. Fuego looking for that shot. Oh, he does get one. Remzik with that save. Ambrosia to the backboard, and that might have been an opportunity for Fishy, if not for the interference from Stratus right there.
That's just good defense on the side.
Oh, there it is.
And there's Remzik, and they put away, honestly, coming back in this game, for the most part, it had Atlas's name written all over it, but Jungle fight their way through. They hold strong. And they find their way through and win game one.
Yeah, Fuego a little bit awkward on that defensive side. He wasn't in a great position to challenge that ball. Went for the back post rotation and tried to allow Fishy to go for the save instead. But I feel like you would have been better rotating near post. You know, it wouldn't have been the best position. You wouldn't have had the most momentum, but I just feel like you would have had a better chance to save that goal, because at those distances, at those speeds, you know, we know Jungle can shoot. We absolutely know that. It's going to be a really tough ask to save that, even from the favorable position that Fishy had. So, yeah, going into game two, that might be something to look at for the Atlas, is just shoring up that defense. And for Ambrosia, 2 goals to his name. He really was that offense. Fishy with an assist as well, and all 3 players on the Atlas having at least 3 shots. But still, I feel like Fishy and Fuego need to be a little bit more involved on the offense and have that defensive cohesion a little bit more.
Yeah. And it's Atlas have the offense. They have, honestly, most of the control of the game as well, but it's just, like you said, those defensive lapses is what's killing them right now. I mean, they definitely didn't lose that game because they weren't putting up enough shots. It just seemed like all it took was Jungle to just have one breakthrough opportunity, and it was a goal. Speaking of breakthrough opportunities, right off the kickoff, Fuego puts one away.
I mean, that's what I asked for. I can't complain. That's what I asked for, Fuego. You delivered right away, 8 seconds in. What can I say? Stratus and End jumping over each other, fighting to try and get a save on that ball, but in the end, neither of them are able to do so. That's a great start for Mankato as well, but I feel like that's not going to be enough, right? That's really what they had in the last game, where Ambrosia scored that stellar shot to put Atlas up, very early on in game 1. It's not going to be enough. We know Jungle will fight back. What do they have left in the tank? And, of course, I hope it's a lot because it's only game 2, but Jungle will for sure come back on this one. Stratus off the backboard. That is cleared away by the Atlas here. Remzik to send it back in the mixer in the corner there, and off the backboard. You're seeing that defense shored up a little bit. Ambrosia making sure that he's staying in front of the ball and not letting anything through.
Yeah, the defense is tightened up, definitely, as I think both teams finding better footing in this game so far. We haven't really had a series that's really gone the distance. It's all been 4-1, 4-0. We've yet to even see Neo Tokyo, but if there would be a series to change that, it'd be this one. A beautiful defensive stand from Mankato as they stay alive there. Low boost, they find some offense as well. Stratus, that's a dangerous touch out middle. Fishy there to collect it. Not really able to find anything with his touch. That goes right back out to Ambrosia. Finds a touch out middle, but it's cleared away by Remzik. Fuego trying to keep this one in. That touch gets away from him. Fishy's there to collect it. Not able to do much more. Ambrosia, that's a good pinch up. And not just trying to kill time, but it leaves it out for Stratus. Finds a shot blocked away. And so far, Atlas have been tightening up on defense, and they find a goal just like that.
Yeah, just like that for Fuego. Remzik creeping up, just assuming that End had the touch. A whoops coming out from End, and you can see why. Teammate trusting him, 100%. And really at this level, that has to be the reality. You have to be able to trust your teammates 100%, right? If they say they got it, they got it. No question. That's it. They just got it. When that happens, it can be so hard to recover. They're seeing that here. Ambrosia with that save. And now the onus is on Jungle to try and come back on this one. 3 minutes to do it. Plenty of time. Let's see what they have. Stratus, I'm expecting a little bit more from him, right? We saw some crazy shots, some crazy mechanics coming out from Ambrosia. But Stratus, I thought we'd be seeing a little bit more of the same from him, and I'm expecting, that to come out eventually. But I think that also comes out from his teammates supporting him. When I saw them play, near the postseason, it seemed like they were helping each other out, and that really brought out the best in Stratus. He's not going to be able to carry it by himself. He needs Remzik and End to step up and really have that offensive cohesion. But right now, it's on the defense that they're worried about. Fishy gets the 50 out. Ambrosia to the top left. Stratus with that save. What can they do to clear it out? Remzik, a little bit awkward. Fishy will turn around on it. It might just be off target. It will be. And End with that save. No, he won't even get a touch. Remzik back to the corner. Jungle with a lot of work to do, but Mankato are just keeping it in their corner. I mean, what even can they do here?
They do finally they find a 50 that goes back the other end. They pounce on it quickly, but it's denied. Just as quickly going the other way. You were talking about mechanics. There's Stratus to the ceiling, not able to find it on target though, but pressure still mounting for it. End has an open off of a nice challenge from the corner, and you cannot count Jungle out of it. They will keep alive here. Only a 1-goal deficit with over a minute and a half left.
That early challenge on Ambrosia really set up the pass to End, and you would expect End to score that. Obviously it's a lot more complicated shot than it looks, right? He makes it look easy, but at this level you would expect him to score that. And those early challenges on Ambrosia, that can really change the story. It can flip the script and make it a little bit harder for him to do what he does on the pitch. You know, when you give him space, he's going to take it and do those mechanics, and you're probably going to regret what you did. So for Jungle, they're learning here. Went down in game 1, now game 2. They're really making sure that that's not happening. And a shot on target. Fishy off the post. What a save indeed. Fuego now downfield. And Jungle so close to getting that tying goal.
Atlas getting away with murder there. That was a huge whiff on the sidewall. And they play with it with a beautiful defensive effort from Fishy. You were... oh, Remzik, what a shot. I was just about to say Jungle haven't really had a lot of offense, but... there they go, scoring again. That's a beautiful pass. Remzik staying in the midfield, kind of lurking on his rotation back. Be able to play both offense and defense from that. But I was about to say, part of why Stratus, back to what you're saying earlier, part of why Stratus might not be looking as mechanical is also just due to the fact that all of these players on the side of Atlas are also very mechanically capable. And again, what a bump. I just want to talk about the players, but these, I mean, this is a beautiful play. Bump from Ambrosia and the pass and the shot from Fishy. But I'm just gonna sum it up real quick. If you have mechanics, you know how to defend said mechanics. If you're pretty consistent with your resets and your double resets and whatever may have you, you also know what it looks like and how to defend it properly. And I feel like when you're in a lobby, when all of these players are really high-level mechanics, they also know how to kind of read and defend them better.
Yeah, that is a great point. You know, that wasn't really even something I considered, but definitely that has to be a factor, is if you know what it looks like, you can tell what they're going for. That's another shot on target from Ambrosia. He's firing on all cylinders now. Another one from Fuego. Fishy lurking in that jungle corner, just trying to keep it there in the midfield, in that middle of the jungle side. Stratus now downfield. Fuego in the corner. Thing went out, has plenty of boosts to just clear this one out. 2 seconds on the clock. Remzik will have to do something with this. Ambrosia will just hit that one down. Doesn't hit the ground just yet, but nobody is there from the jungle to try and keep it up. And that will be a game 2 win for Atlas.
Yeah, and this one finally looking like it's not going to just go to game 5 or 4. We're actually going to have at least close to a full-length series here. As Atlas eased that one out by just a goal off of a good all-around effort from pretty much everybody. Ambrosia not finding a goal, but has 2 assists and 2 saves to make up for it. Fishy having 3 saves in that one that really kept them alive there. Had the game-winning shot. And I don't... it's so tough because but all it takes is one of these so evenly matched that all it takes is one glimpse, one play from a player to make the difference. Ambrosia, he individually stepped up in game 1, but as a team, everyone in Atlas stepped up in game 2. Jungle, anybody on that team, especially Stratus, all it takes is one look, one opportunity in the air, and it can change everything. And when it's so tight-knit like that, it's so fun to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. But, you know, what you brought up before about Ambrosia, Fuego, and Fishy being able to kind of read what Stratus is going for and being able to defend the mechanical plays that he's going for. He only had 1 shot that game.
Right.
You know, he's being shutting down in the midfield. He's not even getting to that final third for the most part on the Atlas side. He's not even really getting an opportunity. He's being shut down in the midfield, and you know, that's an issue for him. He can't do what he does best when he's getting shut down that early. So there needs to be a change made. That might be the change right there. Fuego the save. Will retain possession on this one. Now counterattack opportunity. As I say, that 4 boost in the tank probably not going to happen. And sure enough, that possession of the ball will be given away to End. Into the corner. No, will opt not to. Fishy will keep it. 0 boost. Just flick it. Fuego with that 50 off to the side. End there to finish it off. No, Ambrosia there to clear it once again. A little bit back and forth, but Mankato putting pressure on here. You can see them setting up in the midfield, down to the mid. Fishy to finish it off. He can't quite get there. Fuego to take a shot as well. Remzik with that life-saving save to get it out and keep them alive for another minute.
And the counterattack comes through, but Fuego back down the other end, keeps it out. No goals on either end so far. It's been a standstill. Neither willing to budge. Maybe an opportunity here, but that 50, not really the best play. Both 3 players go missing on that ball. It's quite a weird sight to see, but each expecting each other to hit it. No one makes contact. 50 kills the ball in the corner and staying on it. Gets a beat around 2, but that ball not really falling its way into a shootable spot. Remzik finds an angle, but Fuego's there to meet it. Now over into open space, ends there first, over to Stratus, can't quite make contact with it. Bit of a clutter in the corner. Remzik has some space, but gets cut off. Now, Jungle were building an offensive attack, but a breakthrough from Fuego might change that.
Yeah, great play from Fuego, but Atlas are forced backwards on this one, and a triple play here. Fuego will get a pass, but it is demoed for his efforts there. Back to Ambrosia, looking for that second touch off the backboard, but End will overtake it instead. Over to Remzik. He still has possession of the ball. Going for that demo. It's off the post. He can't finish it off. Ambrosia will get there before Stratus can. Now counterattack on the other side. And Jungle have been robbed by that. Ambrosia with that shot. I really thought that would go in, but Jungle at least made it back in time to have a defensive stand and keep him out there once again. Ambrosia diving in for that one. And Mankato looking shaken. They're so close to conceding here, but so far they haven't, and that's what's important.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe a little bit of interference from the smoke from the demo made it hard to see where that ball was bouncing, which that's not just copium, that is a genuine thing. Demos from the smoke will just completely blind you. Like, it's like you're playing CSGO and you got hit with a lineup.
You just have to guess where the ball is.
Yeah, you just kind of have to guess where the ball is. But there's not a lot of guessing with that. Stratus had no idea how this ball has not been put into the back of a net yet. Maybe it does here off the backboard. Stratus again on the defense, clearing it. Remzik now trying to find a passing play. Gets it over Fishy, but and not really in a good position to follow up that. Fuego off the sidewall. What does he have? Flip reset, faking out the defense. Makes him flat-footed. Tries to get it over to Ambrosia. Fishy gets a good 50. And blocks it away, though, and both these teams are just in a deadlock, neither able to break through.
Yeah, deadlock they are, and for a lot of instances in this game, it's the first time I've seen where Mankato look a little bit shaken, and another double commit coming out from Fuego and Fishy there. Back up at the ceiling, and first to meet it, drop down to Stratus. Trying to get it to open space to follow up on it for Remzik instead. Trying to get it past Ambrosia, but he'll fly towards that one fast. Stratus just sending it forward, and easy clear for Fishy. Back to Remzik off the backboard, and again, it's returned by Fuego. And both teams kind of giving the ball away right here, just feeling the other team out. And usually you see that in game one, right? The other team's control, the speed. As I say, the speed. Fuego gets there first on the challenge. And finally, I mean, Mankato have had so many opportunities, but finally with 54 seconds left, they do get that first goal.
Fuego on their rotation out, rotates out wide even with low boosts, and the ball finds its way middle. Kind of cheated, cherry-picked a little on that 50, and was just in the right spot at the right time, put it past the last defender. And yeah, I get what you're saying about banging and clearing the ball. You want to hang on to it, but with the way both these teams are playing so on each other, so quick on the ball, each capable of doing so much, there's just like, you have to respect them to some capacity. And when you know that the other team knows that you can do mechanics, that you will control the ball, it's a mind game of just trying to find that gap, trying to find that advantage, and forcing another team to try to make a mistake. And at the end of the day, controlling the ball might be the best thing, but banging it and trying to make your opponent work for it is a lot more safe. You saw Ambrosia try to do it there, but it's just off the mark. But with 8 seconds left, does Jungle have a response?
Hopefully they have a response, at least for them. 1 second on the clock, that's floating towards it. Fishy getting bumped away by Fuego, but that might have been enough. Over to end. 0-second goal. They tie it up with no time left on the clock, and that bump from Fuego on Fishy will come back to haunt them. He could have stayed in the spot, but a perfect pass from Remzik and End, and the ice to finish it off will mean we go to overtime in game 3.
And Kato, if they drop this one, they're going to be kicking themselves. At least for some amount of time. They don't want to linger on that too much. Just try to regain and go in this OT. They try to get a quick counter-attack. Touch from Ambrosia doesn't find its way through, but it gets under the defender. Still not able to get out of their half. Fuego trying to create something here. Plays it low. Has the boost. Penties it past through Stratus. Ambrosia gets bumped off. His air dribble. That shot finds its way past the end. That was almost dangerous. Pops over to Fuego in the midfield. Back to the backboard. Trying to pop it around the defender. Can't find anything. That's a high pass up to the ceiling. Gets away from him. And both teams, again, just finding that standstill. Saw a little bit of offense coming out from Atlas, but right now it's jungle. That's a dangerous
Almost
shot.
with the snipe.
Luckily, finds its way off target. Ambrosia dancing his way through defenders. That's a dangerous 50 shot comes through. It's just off the side, but he gets the rebound. And Atlas will not throw away that game. They come back in overtime and win it.
Disaster strikes for end there. He couldn't get the first touch, and the awkwardness will lead him to get the second touch, and we'll give it right to Fishy. That will give the opportunity to Atlas to take game 3, and Ari, crisis averted right there. I mean, they gave away for the overtime, but they do end up winning it. But I want to go back to before when we were talking about, you know, what their options are for both teams here, where they're kind of feeling each other out, but the mechanics on each side, they both respect each other's play style and how fast they are to the ball and the control they have on it. You know, I'm not necessarily looking for them to control the ball, you know, keep it on them, because obviously they're just going to be challenged right away. What I'm looking for is that cohesive play, the passing plays, where you can combine the mechanics and the passing and then get a shot on target. And those are the truly elite teams. That is what we mean by a LAN-ready team.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Trying to clear it in the space that actually matters.
Right, exactly.
Both teams, I do agree. Yeah, they are kind of just clearing the ball where they had a teammate upfield or maybe an open side of the field that they could have tried to find, or maybe they hit it to the side wall, try to get a follow-up touch. But yeah, but I mean, both teams, I think, they just want to play safe because they know if they mess up once, one small little glimpse with how these teams are playing right now, with how mechanical, how quick, how consistent everything is, how cohesive. If you make one mistouch, they're going to get punished for it.
Yep.
But then again, if you're constantly playing safe, if you're not willing to take the risk of maybe trying to do a infield pass or set up a play, then you might not find anything on the offensive end because you're going to need to have that creativity get past these players. You're going to need to have to spice things up because they've seen plenty of shots. They've seen plenty of clears. You need to make it different. And honestly, last game, there wasn't too much crazy creative play. It was just whichever team made the biggest mistake, and it almost was Atlas, but Fishy kept them alive, and now that they're up 2-1 in this series, I want to see if they try to get themselves a match point here.
And that kind of goes back to what I was saying. Oh, flip reset from Fuego here, faking the bus. He goes down under. We can talk about that after, but for right now, let's talk about this goal. I mean, hits it to himself, flip reset, fakes the use, fakes the musty as well, goes for the ground, and Fishy harassing the defenders means the equation is a goal for the Mankato Atlas here.
Completely froze the entire, I was talking about creativity, you saw every single defender in that slam on the brakes. They had no idea what to do.
Yeah, utter confusion. And that's the effect of Fuego at times. He can be an absolute monster on offense when he wants to be, and this is the perfect time to do it. Comes back to Stratus now. For the ceiling, clear out. Ambrosia to Fuego. Fuego again with a 50, but they'll try to keep possession of Ambrosia. They'll go for a miss there, uncharacteristic of that kind of player. And back to the corner, but we'll give it away to Fishy. No touch there. Back in the 50 from Fuego. Remzik will collect it in the corner. Back for jungle. Stratus will beat it first. That's really important. You really haven't seen that much of that series, but I think that's really important for him, but he will lose the ball back to end in the corner, trying to get it middle, but Ambrosia standing strong on the near post of the goal. Remzik again going under. It could have had a chance. Fishy with the goal, but maybe, I mean, I thought maybe Stratus had a shot, but opts not to go for it. Plays safe, but for right now, they still have possession in the midfield.
Fishy was right in the grill of that play. If Stratus did decide to commit for it, he would have had a really bad 50 on Fishy, and it would have been really tough because they didn't really have a person that was back on defense yet. So that would have been an all or nothing play, but I like it because still you have half the game left. It's 1-0. It's not impossible, especially with a shot from Remzik. He answers back with an amazing mechanical play of his own to tie the game up just at around halftime. Saw Ambrosia do something similar like this in the game 1, and either side not willing to budge as it just goes back and forth.
It's that opportunity they were given. Remzik had the space, he had the time, and Mankato were not there to stop him. He's going to gladly take that chance and put it in the back of the net. So is End.
No.
That's going to double their lead in about 10 seconds. They went from a 1-goal deficit to now being in the lead against this Mankato, hot Mankato Atlas team.
That's just a mistouch from Ambrosia. Couldn't quite get under the ball to get the height over the person midfield, and that's just unfortunate. All of a sudden now they go, and if you're on the side of Atlas, you had a goal lead off of a really nice shot, and that's all taken away now. Now you're fighting back to get just to tie it, just to have a chance at overtime, which so far, I mean, they've been able to capitalize on at least the one OT that they had, but I mean, if Jungle have anything to say about it, they don't want this to go to overtime. They want to take it in regulation.
Yeah, absolutely. They want to make sure that this ties up the series right here. They don't want to go to overtime. Last time, that didn't end up well in Game 3. Mankato did take that one. The series lead with it. It's under 2 minutes now. Ambrosia over to Fishy. That's downfield and waiting for that ball, making sure he gets a good touch on it. Remzik over to end. You want to see them link up on this play downfield. Ambrosia going to return the favor back to the corner for Chicago Jungle. And, you know, you're seeing a lot of that. Just seeing what works. Sending it downfield. Maybe getting it to a teammate as well. But so far it's been a return. No clear shot on goal like they just had to get that second goal and the lead with it. Fuego off the backboard. Still in that corner, putting pressure on the Jungle here. Remzik out. End with not much boost to work with, but will come to him anyway from the touch from Remzik. Ambrosia to collect in the corner. Again, flick past one. Stratus there, off the backboard. He might have a chance here. Remzik, the defenders can't get back to it. They gave him too much space once again, and once again they're punished.
Just no one in the corner to meet that challenge. Everyone caught in the front post, same side of the field. And just like that, Remzik snipes the left side of the net, puts them up by 2 now. And that puts Alice in a really tough spot, because now you're not just fighting back to tie, you're just fighting back for a chance, and that chance is getting smaller and smaller by the second as Remzik puts them out of their misery with this goal. I don't know if they have 3 in the span of 50 seconds, but not impossible.
Definitely not impossible with the way that Ambrosia and, you know, well, specifically Ambrosia, his mechanics flying around in the goals he's been putting in that Jungle net. Definitely not impossible, but unlikely at this point, and it would take a very good performance. Remzik almost with another one, almost a 5th one for Jungle here, but Fuego and Fishy kind of confusion coming through. Ambrosia going for the bump, but it's a little bit too late to use that opportunity. This from Fishy now. Remzik and End linking up once again. That's exactly what I wanted to see. You know, they've been the dynamic duo in this one, and, you know, to see that in this kind of game is really, really important. If you have 2 players that can link up in that way and make sure they get those plays through. But 15 seconds now. That's what Atlas wanted as well. It doesn't seem like it's going to happen for them. 10 seconds for Ambrosia and company to get something through, but it won't matter. The wall of End is too much for them to get past. Maybe a flick, maybe one for the road, not quite. Fishy will get it to that Mankato corner, but that 3-goal deficit for Mankato will mean that Jungle tie up the series here.
Yeah, and even if that play from Ambrosia went through, if he got it past the defender, that's still 2-4. Not a lot of time to really get anything going, to get enough goals. And what I saw from Jungle this game is they would put one away, and then they put one away right after that off a kickoff. They were really good of just using their goals to get momentum to score even more. And once they put one away, it kind of just, you know, when it rains, it pours. And they poured down the goals. Once they got that lid off, they just went on a complete streak and kept Atlas to... Once Jungle scored, Atlas were not able to respond the entire time. They went forward, straight on answer goals.
Yeah, it was kind of a drip at first. You know, you saw some sparkles of brilliance, and now it is a full-blown waterfall. Jungle are warmed up, they're ready to play, and we're ready to get back into this one. I think we might be waiting for Stratus to come back in, not quite sure on the car change there, but heading into Game 5, series is all tied up, and I really didn't expect anything different, honestly. I think both of our predictions are still on the table at this point, but we will have to see who trumps each other, because both teams, I think, are really feeling themselves. And for the Atlas, you know, I talked before about how for the first time they looked nervous, right? They were double committing to balls. You know, the challenges weren't quite there. They were getting beat to the ball, and a double coming through. That might be an opportunity for Mankato to take advantage of, but they won't as that clear goes downfield.
Now, they have a chance to put themselves on a match point. Either way, a team right now is going to find themselves in match point. We're guaranteed a game 6. But right now, that might be jungle. As Remzik puts it past the defense, I thought they were going to be able to get back to that, but just a missed touch from Fishy and no one home that's able to really get there in time for the defensive touch. And like I said, just one slight misplay on the sidewall, and it's a goal.
Yeah, one small mistake. That's all it takes. Those are the stakes, you know, in this kind of league, the prestige and the power of these players. And I think that was Fishy harassing that back line on the jungle side. Again, Faker with a bump coming through. Stratus all by himself will save that one away. The hero of the jungle, and they keep their lead.
Stratus, you're talking about him being mechanical, but defensively, he's shown his stride as that one. Beautiful passing play. You were talking about it earlier, the 1-2, and it's down the other end into the back of the net.
It's kind of a side flick. Looked so casual. On the side of Fishy there, Ambrosia flying across the field to finish that one off into an open net. And yeah, jungle not really gonna be liking that one. I mean, they took away their lead right there, but that really shows that Mankato, you know, maybe the respect or the confusion, the fear that they had, it's gone. It's completely gone. A mess on the defensive side of the jungle, and of course Fishy is gonna take advantage.
Stratus just awkward. He was trying to aerial off the side, off his kind of back wall, but he hit the post as he was jumping. On top of that, he got bumped by Fishy. And the last defender in net just was not ready to meet that. And, you know, Mankato had a blunder early on in this game. They got one back off of a blunder, off a jungle to get the lead. And that's really important because whoever wins this game has match point. You don't have a cushion anymore. But since they're tied, someone has to have a cushion. Either you have to win 2 in a row, or you're put on match point, and you can maybe afford game 6 and try to come back in game 7. But either way, the odds, I forgot Stewie said a statistic earlier, but the odds that a team wins when they're up 3-2 is so tremendously high that it's so beneficial. Might as well just be the game 7 because it means so much. And Jungle, if they want to be on the better end of that statistic, they better find a goal, and they better find it soon, because with the way that Atlas are playing, they're finding each other, they're comfortable with the infield passes, they look scary right now.
Yeah, they do look scary, and that can be a really terrifying thought. When you know that this team looks really, really good, they're playing really, really well, they're confident, and the longer that the game goes on, the bigger chance that they're going to score on you. That can be such a terrifying thought for this jungle team. But they have to keep it together. They've done a good job so far. So they'll have to come back on this one about half the game to do so. Now, end back in the corner. We'll send it off the wall. Ambrosia getting that touch off the ceiling as well. Maybe getting another third one. Not quite. Stratus will get it through. Fuego up to the backboard. Double commit from Enna Stratus. That'll go down to the ground. Thankfully, Remzik recognized the danger there and made sure he was there to clean it up for his teammates. And now, on the air, going for that flip reset again. That early challenge from Ambrosia, shutting down these mechanical players who can be so paramount. Awkward on the defense. Oh boy, what was that? A known goal? What am I just seeing right now?
Fishy puts pressure on, and it's just Remzik backflipped. His teammate tried to cover. But Remzik recovered in time to be able to touch it again. It wasn't a threatening shot. They had enough time. But
they had more than enough time. Again, a defensive blunder.
The fact that the player that was going for it backflipped just made it so much more awkward than it had to. And then the communications kind of broke down, being like, oh wait, it's you, but well wait, no, I recover, I actually have it. Just that lapse makes it so awkward, and that's really not the kind of goals you want to be giving up with the way that the series has been. That's a beautiful find on that path. It's not able to find its way in the net, though. With the way that the series in this game has been, goals are not coming easy. And if you're giving away ones like that, I mean, going down and having to fight back against a match point primed Mankato is not something you want to do. But it's not like they're out of it yet. A minute and 15 left. They have more than enough time to try to find 2 goals.
Yeah, more than enough time, but they're going to have to start the work now to get it done. Remzik Almost with an opportunity there, but a good save from Fishy will keep it out. In off the wall, ping up almost at the ceiling. Ambrosia up there to meet it. Back to that jungle corner. Emzik will pick that one up. Fuego in the vicinity, putting that pressure on, getting that 50 through as well. And the more you can keep it in the midfield, the more you can keep it in that jungle half, the better it is for Mankato. Every second ticking down is 1 second less for jungle to put a really good, opportunity on your net. And coming through, good bump on Fishy, but nobody else is there on the jungle to keep it through. Stratus with the challenge to make him do something, but here with the Bremzik with a flip reset, but it's a soft shot. They really can't do anything with it. That's the third man committing on that play. Ambrosia trying to get it through, and they will get that save, but it's almost too late already. 20 seconds. You have to do it now. You have to get something going now. Fuego, not quite on the shot, but it won't matter. Again, the more seconds that count down, the better for Mankato here. Fishy is just, very optimistic. He's fine completely, just leaving it like that. We're gonna hit 0 seconds, and Mankato will be on that all-important match point.
Yeah, and statistically, this spot more than often wins the series by quite staggering odds. It's not like Jungle are out of it yet. They really shot themselves in the foot there in that game. This entire series, it's been ceiling shot this, fake musty that. But this game, it was just so much more Jungle just shaking on defense. And Atlas just, every single moment, being able to capitalize. And they were so tough to break out from. They were so suffocating. They kept the ball in Jungle's half for most of the game. And because of that, they find themselves 3-1 up in this game and 3-2 up in the series.
Some bad news and some good news for Jungle. Bad news, yeah, they're down. They're going into game 6 with Atlas on match point. Good news, end with double digits. That's something you can fix, right? When it was your own performance that really let you down in that game 5 and put Atlas on match point. That's something you can fix going into this final game 7, or possibly a game 6, excuse me, but a possible game 7 if Jungle can pull through. But some even better news for them is that so far this weekend we've actually had quite a few of these go to game 7 where the team wins in game 6 to take it to a game 7. We had that yesterday with the Mankato Atlas themselves, where they won in game 7 in OT yesterday. So, I mean, it can absolutely happen, but we will have to see if Jungle can do it here in game 6.
Yeah, and if they don't do it now, they're not going to have another chance, but they spearheaded attack right off the kickoff. I thought that was going to be Atlas setting up camp again, but end with a beautiful carry on that pre-flip off the sidewall. Use it right for Stratus, who bulldozes it through the last defender, and up 1-0. This is definitely how you want to start your game 6.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the response I was looking for, not only from Chicago Jungle themselves, but Stratus. He's been a little bit quiet, and he has been shut down in the midfield a lot, and that's going to be a lot for his confidence as well, and for the team too. So, yeah, put game 5 behind you. That's all I can say for the Chicago Jungle here. It's all here to play for in game 6. You have to win this one. Remember, if Mankato win this game 6, they're through to that lower final where they have that opportunity to win that series and secure that land spot. So it's all here to play for both teams. Of course, Mankato want to get it done here. Fuego essentially does. Fuego and Ambrosia going for the bump there with the ball in tow, but they can't quite get it through. And with the shot, Fishy awkward on the backflip, trying to flip on the defense to get any kind of touch on it, but he won't, and Jungle will extend their lead.
They're facing elimination. They lose this, their season's over, and they don't want to go out with a whimper. They want to take it to game 7, but this is the problem with early game leads like this, is it leaves so much time for the other team to come back, and knowing Atlas, they're definitely gonna try to do that with over 3.5 minutes left. You'd think that maybe they find one to answer back at least one of these goals. The more unanswered goals that they let Jungle have, the more momentum they're allowing them to build, especially going into that game 7. But Fuego maybe looking to answer back off the ceiling, create some offense. Maybe an opportunity to break it more. That's an opportunity, and Ambrosia will be there to capitalize. They find the answer, and with 3 minutes left, it's only a 1-goal game.
Only a 1-goal game it is, and again, It's Jungle's own actions that come back to haunt them. That miss from End on the backboard. I'm not really sure what's going on the Jungle side, on the Jungle camp, but they'll have to figure out something soon because, you know, one more goal from the Atlas and that lead that they once had will have evaporated. Still in that corner for the Atlas, though. Remzik in the midfield, trying to get a 50 past Fuego, not quite working. We'll come out to Stratus, does get that 50 past off the backboard, but Ambrosia will beat him to it. No touch from End. Remzik alone on defense. Stratus trying his best to get back. That might have been in. Ambrosia will be off target. And now in the corner, has a chance to get it to Stratus, but again beat by Fishy, and Mankato have really sped up their challenges here.
Yeah, they're smelling blood in the water. They want to fight, they want to attack this Jungle defense. They saw how weak it could have been there in game 5. They want to try to force more mistakes. Ambrosia off the ground, you're giving him space in the air. What does he get? A bump, but End rotates back in time to play the down bounce. And they keep it off their goal line, but only for so long as they set up another offensive attack. That goes the other end. Fuego has to make a touch, makes it awkward, but End wants to pass it out to Remzik. Scary opportunity, but kept at bay. And both teams not willing to budge. The push and shove coming from both. Good offensive looks, either end, and met equally by defensive saves. Jungle not wanting to end their season here.
Yeah, absolutely not. They're fighting tooth and nail to keep it alive. Remzik will get that one downfield. It's returned back to End. There's a chance for redemption here. Gets it past 2. Fishy a little bit awkward on the back line. Stratus to get it past. Can he turn around on it? He will. Fishy can't get back to it in time. And what a play. I mean, they combined for one of the most odd plays, but it somehow worked. And they get the 3rd goal of game 6.
Fishy caught with no boost and bumped out the way. Just numbers advantage on the side of Jungle. They're able to get it by defenders and create an opening. Now, with a more comfortable 2-goal lead, still not out of it yet. But they might be as they break away and make it a 3-goal lead off of a beautiful flick. The Stratus, who puts it away and really secures this game, makes it really tough for Atlas.
And uncharacteristic of the Atlas, who seem to win every single challenge that they went for just earlier on in the series. Fuego badly loses that 50, and then Ambrosia creeps up way too far as 3rd man and is beat by the Jungle there. That might be another one.
Oh,
what is happening?
no.
What is happening? Atlas defense, where did you go?
The highest lead we saw was, I think, 2-4. It was a 2-goal lead, and that has doubled right now. Jungle are up 5-1 with a 4-goal lead, a minute 25 left. All Atlas have been able to do is answer back with a singular goal. But other than that, they've looked quiet. They've had their opportunities, they've had some looks, but you can only have so much offense if your goal line's so free, and another one gets put away. If this is how Game 6 is going, I really wonder what the kind of momentum swing that Jungle has going into Game 7. They're bringing back the sledgehammer over their head. They're bringing up the momentum, and they want to throw it down hard. But I'm less curious to see right now what Atlas will do in Game 6, as more so if they will stop the momentum that Jungle have right now going into Game 7.
Mankato, I'm sure they're looking for a reset for the next game. They're looking to go into Game 7, just trying to forget about this one. Similar to what happened for the Jungle in Game 5. They just want to get past it. You know what? They made some defensive blunders, had some mistakes that really came back to bite them. Stress taking advantage of that one. That might just find its way in. No, it will be off target.
No!
It's just he's own goal it in. 39 seconds and a whoops coming out for men, and what an interesting goal. I mean, I'm sure Atlas won't complain, but I'm also not sure that it will change anything here in Game 6.
I mean, that goofy goal might not change the course of the game, but that kind of gets you loose a little bit. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you throw one down the field,
bit.
it doesn't go in, they own goal it off of, like, it literally not being in. You know, it gets you loosened up. It kind of makes you relax a little bit. You know, you don't stress about too much about the fact that you're losing, 2-6 right now, that you're going to Game 7, and the fact that if you lose, you're out for the season. You just try to focus on the fact that they just scored a goofy own goal, and that might be what you need, that little edge to try to even things out in terms of momentum going into the next game. as they really what they're trying to do now is just hold off jungle. They don't want to allow another one through. With 6 seconds left, that doesn't look like it's going to happen as it's in their corner.
Yeah, that will hit 0 seconds. No touch from Fishy there, and that will confirm the jungle win of Game 6. And we're heading to Game 7 already. I almost thought we were heading to South America on that game right there. 800 points coming out from Stratus. 4 goals, a Guardian medal as well, 3 saves and 3 shots. I think it might have been an own goal. He has 4 goals and 3 shots, so technically impossible, but we'll go with it. But I asked for Stratus to step up. I asked for his, not necessarily to step up in general, but I wasn't really seeing that offensive prowess that he usually flexes on people all the time, and I'm seeing it here. Right. And I really think it's down to End and Remzik. I mean, absolutely. All right, look, every single goal was assisted. 4 assists for End and 2 for Remzik.
Yeah, they're finding each other, and I mean, on the side of Atlas, also all of those were assisted. And I want to see them in this Game 7 if they can get through their nerves, which I feel like they can. They have the experience. Is they need to find those passing plays. They've been so deadly when they find each other up the stretch of the field, but they just haven't been finding. They haven't been looking for each other. They haven't been finding each other. They've been electing to try to control it, to try to keep it close, to try to, which isn't wrong. It's fine to do solo plays. Remzik almost with a highlight level goal right there to kick off Game 7, but I feel like all Atlas needs to do is just find one string of those passes, and they're sitting pretty as they try to do it here.
Yeah, jungle needs to be a little bit careful here, not to overcommit. You know, it can be really easy to overcommit when you have a very large lead like they did in that last game, where you go, all right, you know what, I'll just go for that challenge. It doesn't really matter. You know, obviously you don't want to concede a goal, but it doesn't really matter to the result of Game 6 if you concede that goal. But here, it's back to 0-0. It's back to an even scoreline. It's basically a best of 1. This is it. This is the finale to get into that lower bracket final. It might be it for Fishy. Drop down pass from Fuego, bounce shot, and he will find that first mark for Mankato Atlas.
As I was talking about passing plays earlier on, they find the 3-man passing play. Ambrosia over to Fuego, over to Fishy, slams it to the bottom of the net under all the defenders, and slams away a goal lead as they try to make it 2 off the kickoff. Not able to find it.
Not quite able to find it. Plenty of time, obviously, but that might have been a little bit of a blessing in disguise, you know, for the Chicago Jungle here, because it's a wake-up call. All right, they're here to play. Game 6, it's a wash. Now Game 7, it's all that matters. It's right here. Remzik to drive it forward. They need to recuperate and regain that offensive power that they had in Game 6. Comes back to Remzik on the wall. We'll just bang it forward off the backboard. Ambrosia, you expect him to have that touch, and he does. Off the wall again. Can't get it past 2. Look over to the other side, and another demo coming out on the Chicago Jungle player there. Fishy in the corner, a little bit of awkward touch. Stratus going for that bump. Fishy was forced to jump there, still makes the touch. Fuego. Ambrosia looking, just chasing the defense of the jungle around, leaving Fuego to do what he wants with the ball, but so far they haven't been able to extend their lead.
Yeah, but I mean, Jungle haven't been able to get one either. Fuego, beautiful read on the midfield pass, cuts it off before the shot can come through. Another one finding its way in, but it's off target. Ambrosia has to get this one up quick and does. Off to the ceiling to himself. It's scary. He tries to go under the defender. Can't quite find it. Still, offensive pressure leaning towards the side of Atlas right now. They've been holding the pace. Remzik looking to change that. Tries to put it middle. Fishy meets him on the sidewall and goes missing. Ambrosia with a touch out. Stratus now backward. Passed it by time for his team. Can't find a touch. Fishy's shot. What a beautifully placed shot. Has so much power. The defender not able to do anything. Only able to just tap it. So much heat behind it. He wasn't able to get in the way of it in time.
And I did see a bump come out from Ambrosia. It didn't really matter. That player was behind the ball anyway. I don't think he had any kind of chance to stop that ball from going on the shot and into their goal. But yeah, that will extend that lead, and we've crossed halftime in Game 7 here. Stratus will just sneak that one through. No defense back for the Mankato Atlas. Maybe not even expecting a shot from that angle, but what a shot from Stratus it is, and they do have that deficit.
Yeah, you saw Fuego just kind of defending more of a midfield pass, but Stratus saw a ball-sized gap in between him and the net, and he puts it through. Pass out from the kickoff. They almost answer right back. It's still dangerous on the backboard. No one on the side of Jungle having any boost to really do anything with this ball. Remzik tries to get it downfield, but Fishy meets him. A beautiful 50 plays out and having to use so much to try to get this one cleared. Finds a 50 in the midfield, but Ambrosia finds the ball yet again. Now, beautiful sideball touch. Fuego tries the redirect. That would have been absolutely nuts if they found that one. Trying to get back their 2-goal lead. But Jungle on the other end, they want to at least tie this game up. Have a chance to go to OT. Remzik might have what it takes off the backboard. Hits it wide. Stratus trying to recenter it. Not able to find a pass. As Atlas hold on to their 1-goal lead.
That they do. 90 seconds now. Time ticking down. What a save coming out. That shot on target for the Jungle here. Ambrosia in a race with Stratus and will get that shot away. It was a dangerous one. If there was any follow-up from another Mankato Atlas player. Fuego in the corner now. A sublime pass. Can Ambrosia finish it off? He's there on the backboard. And no, he will make that save. Fishy, his shot is saved away. And for Chicago Jungle, their life flashed before their eyes from that shot from Fishy, but once again they have danger. Back on the backboard, Ambrosia, the bump away, is floating in front of the goal. Stratus will get it away, but 50 seconds for them to get that all-important goal.
You see nerves coming out on the side of Atlas. A couple of those shots look like they maybe could have put in the net if it was just placed a little bit better, but regardless, they scraped away, still onto that 1-goal lead. They don't need another one, but it would be oh so comfortable right now to have it. As Jungle looks scary on the offensive end. Air dribbles coming out, aerial plays are throwing everything they have at them, but they're just getting denied time and time again. Stratus, what does he have? Air dribble over one to the backboard, tries to get it under the crossbar. Fuego there to meet him. Remzik now, his turn on the ball, past the end, blocked away. Jungle have no answers right now on the offense.
They have to find something now, but they won't. They'll go all the way back, trying to get a cross-field pass, a play going. They needed the boost to get back, but that touch will not go in their favor, and that slams the door shut for this Chicago Jungle team. And Mankato Atlas 7 seconds away from locking in that lower bracket spot in the kickoff. Goes in the favor of Fuego. He's there for the 50. Off the backboard. Can they finish it off? It doesn't matter. It hits 0 seconds. And Mankato Atlas will go through to that lower bracket final.
What a series. The first one of the day to really go past game 5. And we get a game 7. And, I mean, you couldn't have asked for anything better. Jungle, they weren't out of that series. I saw them in that game 5. They looked really shaky. I was not expecting them in that game 6 to throw all. They almost put Atlas into Brazil, and 7 won them. And then in game 7, Atlas went absolutely crazy with passing play after passing play. You get that first goal on the board, the triple, all 3 players on the team getting a piece of the ball. And I mean, that's what I was literally saying before in between game 6 and 7 that they need to pass the ball. They're so deadly when they do it. And the first goal of game 7 was a triple man passing play.
Yeah, just absolute insanity coming out from Mankato Atlas, and I gotta commend Chicago Jungle as well. They fought as hard as they could, and Stratus, you know, he really woke up at the end of that series. He was kind of slumbering on some goals during the beginning of the series, but had 4 goals during that game 6, and yeah, they almost Braziled a very hot Mankato Atlas team. But we got a great matchup coming for you. It's the Mankato Atlas and the St. Cloud Flyers, and St. Cloud Flyers, they went down in Game 5 against the Des Moines Derecho, who were playing very, very fast, very precise. So, yeah, St. Cloud Flyers, they're ready, I'm sure. And, you know, Stewie was talking about, Ari, that Bubbly Reaper, he was saying Ambrosia and Fuego was the team he did not want to play at all costs. So we will have to see what he says about that. Yeah, apparently their history is not great as far as Rocket League results go. So that will be interesting to see how Bubbly prepares. But any final thoughts before we send it to a break before that final match?
All I gotta say is Flyers, you better watch out because this team is coming in hot. They looked scary at even the games that they were losing. They looked very scary on both ends of the pitch. So Yeah, if you're Bubbly Reaper, you better be preparing because they're not gonna let their foot off the gas pedal. They want to qualify for the win, and so do Flyers do. But again, only one team will be able to make it. That team, unfortunately, will not be Jungle, as they just saw them be knocked out. But we'll see who takes it in the next game after the short break.
Yeah, some people like me are just destined to fuck up everything that we mess with. If I was made as a joke, I don't get it. Missed the call, but I guess I got the message. Usually I fall too hard, I'm addicted to pain. And if the world's on fire, I'll be swimming in flames, yeah. Cause I'm too impatient to wait for change. But no, I'm far from perfect. Oh, yeah. But I know I can make it work. I know I can make it work. I'm crazy, everybody knows my name, but I don't even know my name. Going insane, putting heavy on my brain, and I don't even know my name. It's a story about a ID crisis. Used to think my only future was the night shift. Brain on ADHD, autopilot. And through it all somehow I kept smiling. I can never find the right words to say. Only a handful of family ever sees my face. But I'm only human, don't we all make mistakes? I'm drowning in my head again, and my thoughts don't want me to win. They show compassion made of plastic, and I don't wanna be another tragedy, but I'd rather be dead than a skeleton dreaming about the things that he couldn't be. Cause I'm too impatient to wait for dreams.
my voice, can't let the fame and fortune get the best of me. See clearly what's important, not impressed with me, ain't looking for endorsements. Dropping masterpieces left and right, ignore the hate. Life testing me, passing with flying colors. Always been unique, can't be no dime a dozen. I take pride in this, won't catch me cutting corners. Have no tolerance for ignorance, I heard you lost your confidence in me. This should be sorry, can't ignore it.
Welcome back, everybody. You just saw me and Tibble's cast, and we're joined by Stewie, who has been also casting today. We're all three here one last team to send to River Falls, and it has to be. This is the beautiful thing about these elimination matches is there's no ties or draws in Rocket League. One team has to win. It has to be Flyers. It has to be Alice. One or the other. Ambrosia could not qualify. We could maybe Bubbly Reaper. We don't see him there. I mean, he's probably going to come anyway, but you know, you never know. But yeah, both these teams, I think both people want to see Ambrosia. Both people want to see
It's just a land
the
team.
Flyers
We want to see
roster
them
too.
there.
Yeah, both of these teams.
I wish we could send both of these teams. Yeah, I agree. I'm the same exact way. But you guys are just digressing from that Game 7 finale that we had. Mankato came out on top, and now they find themselves in a final to go to LAN against a team that they lost to in the season 3-1. This was a best of 5 that went to 4 games, and St. Cloud took it. But Bubbly, talking to Bubbly, this is not the team he wants to play. He just feels like these two have the bane of his existence, and now he's playing against his brother for a LAN spot. So, I mean, one of them's going to LAN, so it's confirmed we'll get Bubbly Reaper on LAN, but we don't know if he's playing or not. Tibbles, how are you feeling about this series? I feel like this is going to go 6 at least. These guys just, they look so good today. They look fast-paced and a lot of Rocket League.
Yeah, so coming into this series, something that Chicago Jungle didn't have is the stats to back up. You know, everyone knew that they were a threatening team, right? Stratus coming in, having a great performance, and almost getting it done in that last series, but not quite. But what St. Cloud Flyers have is the stats. They're a solid team all around. And I talked about it before, they're leading as a team in assists per game, and Vogs is leading in goals per game with 1.36, Trash at 0.91 assists per game. So yeah, coming into this series, they got the stats to back them up. It's going to be offense versus offense, and you know, Fishy brought some really good defensive plays as well, and I think, well, the whole Atlas team had a good cohesive defensive action, but if some very even teams here, Stewie, and I don't think I could pick a victor, but I think we should do predictions before we get started.
I agree. And looking at this bracket very quickly before our predictions, Derecho winning in 5. They sent St. Cloud down here to play Atlas, who are on a hot streak. Obviously beating the Jungle in 7, but also beating the Senators in 5. And I have to say that the big thing for me is the early exits. The early exit from St. Paul, they only win 1 game today, and Bloomington only wins 1 game today. Those two teams are the Bloomington especially only winning 1 game today with the talent level that was on that roster. They were a number 2 seed at one point for the season for multiple weeks straight. So to not see them even come close is a little bit sketchy. Ori, sorry, I kind of cut off your point, but I guess we can get into predictions. But Ari, you can make your point before we go to those predictions. Should be a blast. I'm so excited. My prediction is St. Cloud in 6. I'm not trying to curse them, but I have the faith. I have the faith.
Nah, dude, from what I think that Atlas played better than what I saw to St. Cloud. When they were connecting, when they hit their passes, they didn't do it all the time, but even when they weren't doing it, you still have the solo playability from every single one of those players. Fishy might be as strong as Ambrosia or Fuego. I mean, it's kind of really hard to be as individually mechanically strong as Ambrosia or Fuego. It's a really high standard to put himself up against, but I'm talking about on the defensive end. If you took the offense from Ambrosia and put it into the defensive stats of a player, you'd get Fishy. Fishy is able to make saves where it just feels like you're about to say goal, and then it just gets denied last second. Somehow, some way, he manages to just stop you dead in your tracks from saying that the other team scored, no matter really what position he's in. As I say that.
Stewie, I'm going to take Flyers in 7.
Oh, man.
You know, I'm going to take Flyers in 7. We saw some teams struggle last night with where, you know, one player was on, one player wasn't. Ambrosia is trying to get back as fast as he can. He realized too late. He had to get back to that save, but Bubbly Reaper will find that way through. And hey, Flyers already starting off well with my prediction.
Yeah, Bubbly muscles his way through the back, and obviously this series is the final one before. We're going to obviously talk about sending a team to River Falls. This is one of these two teams is going there, and I just realized that It is not game 7. Not quite. Maybe it's game 7 for Trash.
yet.
Flip reset. Nearly one more.
You're exposing
Fogs.
the script, Stu. It's too
Oh,
early.
but I am exposing the script. My fault. My bad. But regardless, that was as close of an opportunity as it could get. Bubbly on his backline. Good collection. Finds Vogs downfield somewhat as clear comes about. Fuego has to possess. Maybe one more pass midfield. Broja has the clear all the way down the field. Fishing, chasing him up. Now chasing his brother into the net. Says he'll be turned away by Trash, who clears it all the way down the field. And one thing, like, you know, I love what Tibble said. This is going to be an offensive juggernaut series. Both of these teams can score goals in bunches, and that's an example of it.
Fishy, I was talking about him being mainly defensive, but he did end up scoring that icing goal in Game 7, and just throws it against the defender. Too much power behind the shot from the handle. And I didn't say earlier exactly what the scoreline was. I just said Atlas, but I think it'll be Atlas in 6. I think that it goes to Game 6, and I think Atlas win 4-2.
So I want to justify why I said Flyers a little bit. So, you know, with the last series, Chicago Jungle, it didn't really seem like they were hot all the time. All the players weren't really on all the time. It seemed to be one of them, Ambrosia, going off the backboard there, but can't quite get it through. But for Mankato Atlas, yeah, they played well, but I feel like they weren't playing such a threatening team for a lot of that series. They didn't look the same. Fox will almost find that way through. Not quite again. But St. Cloud Flyers are a different beast. It will take a different level from this Atlas team to make their way through to land.
I love how you worded that, a different beast. The different level, though, really, for me, is the big key. St. Cloud plays such at a different pace than Chicago. Chicago like to play possessive. They don't like to play super fast. I mean, they can kick up the pace and, you know, work with that a little bit, but that's one thing that St. Cloud does a lot better than really any other team, speed on the field. You will not find a time much really where you're beating them to the ball. Most often, you're going to be bumped like that. You're going to be outsped in the air as Vogs is a good touch off the backboard. Fishy has his teammate Fuego covered. And Fishy stepped up massive in Game 7 to propel Mankato to this lower final. And you know, Tibbles, you talked about it at the beginning. You could do, or we talked about it during the break, actually. You do all this work just to, you know, squander away your chances of you know, going to land. You do all this work to get the wins and get to this match just to, you know, leave it all out on the table and not get there.
Oh. Fishy almost putting that one away, Tibbles. I wanted to let you go there.
Oh, it was your turn, but I mean, I can go if you want. I don't mind. I love talking.
My fault. That's on me, guys. That's on me. It's game
we're all
one.
big yappers.
I'm still trying to lock in. Okay, we all like to talk. I'm still trying to figure out. You know,
we're not used to taking turns yet. All right.
Yeah. Normally we just like
first.
to just react and talk at the same, because that's what it's been like the entire weekend, is just as crazy a games as you could possibly make it.
Yeah, just an interjection there. What a goal there. I mean, what is happening there?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
but,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, 55 seconds left is what we find ourselves with. Still a tie game, and it's been a lot of a midfield battle. It's been a lot of back and forth. Really, no clear-cut chances where we've had those reactions just yet, at least not recently. Trash going for that one. Flip reset possibility, but Fishy will get it out. Now Bubbly off the ceiling. You don't really see that too often, but it might be effective here. Vogs going missing on that one. That could have been a great opportunity. Fishy on the other side. 30 seconds now. Trash getting bumped away. Again, a bump coming through, but still, Mankato no closer to scoring that goal.
Yeah, and more bumps coming through, but again, it's not doing anything too much for him. Fishy, a little bit of breathing room, but it's cut away quickly.
Oh,
That's
no!
a defensive mistake, and they get away with it. Holding on by a thread in Game 1. How in the world do they get away with it? Now back down the other end, they almost find a goal the other way, but it won't happen. The ball hits the ground and it goes to overtime. I thought Atlas just absolutely threw away that game.
What in the hell was that? That just ping-ponged off of all three players, and the dunk came through, but the shot just wasn't on target, or what didn't, the 50 wasn't won. But now game number 1 gonna be settled in overtime. Maybe it's Ambrosia to do it off the corner. Fuego commits, trying to find something. Ambrosia's shot is blocked by Vogs. Huge play on the defensive half. Fishy looking infield. This is going to be the win!
How fast is... Oh my goodness.
96 miles an hour.
God.
Disaster from Mankato Atlas. Ambrosia trying to get a good touch on it, trying to get in front of it even, but it goes all wrong, and that will go in for the Flyers. I mean, that was a rocket of a shot. Even if there was a defender in the net, which there wasn't, there's no way they're saving that ball, and Flyers will take game 1.
For all the people using KPH, that was 154.
My God.
I'm a KPH user myself, which is funny because I will drive, and I know how 90 miles an hour feels to drive, but I don't know what 150 KPH means. But in Rocket League, if you say a ball was scored at 90 miles an hour, I'm like, how fast is that? I know how fast KPH. It's inverted. It's weird, but yeah, that's a crazy pinch, and it might have, might chalk that up to, oh, it was kind of lucky that you pinched off the defender. But Bubbly read that pass before the touch was even made. He was already moving to the spot of the field where the Atlas player was to receive it, and he cut it off. So that was a good split-second recognition from him to realize that was happening before it even developed fully. He had the vision to see that, and he kind of proves his tag. He has the 4D Chessmaster on for his tag, and he's really proving that point because that read won them that game 1 OT, and you never know, they might use that momentum to bring it into game 2 and take a 2-0 series lead.
And I think that what you just brought up, momentum, absolutely massive. As Boggs picks the corner, gets the infield pass from Trash and Bubbly, who really just worked this ball past Fuego. They dunk him, and Fishy wasn't ready. His brother was running interference on him. Bubbly and Fishy are brothers, and those two, hopefully we see a point where they go one-on-one in a 1v1. That would be my dream, absolute dream play. But
let's make it happen.
Maybe those two go to a 1v1 in this series first. But so far it's been Bubbly's team to take advantage as off the backboard. This is gonna drop down awkward. Trash can't get there, and a massive play on the back line. It was Fuego who got the bump.
And last time it was Ambrosia who did that. He just sends it towards the middle, absolutely clatters the defender in net, and leaves it in the midfield for someone to finish off. And there it is. Fuego this time. It was Ambrosia last time. And, I thought it was going to be an early kind of dominating performance from the Flyers here. But same story as last game. 2 early goals, 1-1 on each side. Maybe we'll get an overtime. We'll have to see.
That's dangerous. Almost found its way in. Fishy trying to keep this one on the offensive end, but 50 away in the midfield. No one on the side of Atlas really having a good touch on that ball. Fishy trying to create something here to the corner. Fuego shot, hit wide. Bubbly stays grounded, gets the touch. Fishy meeting that in the midfield, cutting enough before anything could happen. Now passing play coming out. Trash with the shot. Fuego there on the back line to meet it, keeping it a 1-1 scoreline. Another pass coming out. Ambrosia cutting it off early. Now Trash back by himself. What does he have? Boost, pops it over one. A demo coming through, and an open opportunity, but Fishy there in the back line to keep anything from going to awry.
Still sketchy. Trash bumps. Well, takes the ball off of Fuego's car as Bubbly and company setting up shop on offense. What do they have? What can they put together? It's obviously Vogs and Trash, who are really the goal scoring side of this St. Cloud team. Number 1 in assists, number 1 in goals per game. And the only thing they don't lead in is shots. And, of course, there's only one guy that could lead in that. Mr. Mogi is his Des Moines derecho going to qualify through that upper bracket. But the number 1 offense really for me is got to be in this series. It's got to be what physical plays can you bring out if you are the St. Cloud Flyers. As Fox nearly gets caught. Trash gets 1 touch. Fishy was waiting on it. And Fuego, really good collection here. This is dangerous. Mankato knocking on St. Cloud's door, and maybe they revert to a different fortune, Tibbles, where they just bust down the door. What a pass to Fuego. Double ace on. What a play from Mankato.
Ambrosia to Fuego, the CRL masterminds, the LAN masterminds, the season I think season 5 winners of MNCS Premier.
You are correct.
They link up once again, and yeah, I mean what a beautiful shot from Fuego off the backboard to himself, finishes off in the top corner as well. That's what you want to see. That's what you need to see. This is the time to do it.
Yeah, if you're gonna show up, it'd be now, and a double tap again. It's not for style points. That entire net's cluttered up with defenders. They need to shake them. And having that direction change from the double tap is so hard to read, so hard to defend, even if it's just a light shot. It's just so difficult. They can place it anywhere in the net now. Flyers almost trying to get one back there, but the defense holds strong. Only for so long as the shot comes through. It's off the mark. The follow-up is there. Bubbly Reaper off the crossbar equalizes the game.
And this got hairy when Brojo made that touch. It was Vogs who, I like that actually. He does not need to hit that on net because that's likely saved by Ambrosia based off of Brojo's angle that he's taking.
Right.
And Vogs with his play forces the defense of Mankato to have to read a different angle. And now Vogs all the way down the other end. Vogs has just appeared in game number 2. Has completely dusted the defender in Ambrosia to the ball. Ambrosia just missed, and Fuego can't get there in time. That is a rifle to the back of your net, and Vogs has seemingly gotten St. Cloud a 2-0 series lead for now, but still, Tibbles, there's 2 minutes on that clock.
2 minutes left, and we have seen an explosion of goals, Stewie, from game 1, where we only saw 3 total, 1 coming on from overtime. But all right, I want to go to a point that you made last series where basically if one touch goes wrong or you don't make the touch at all, in Ambrosia's case on that goal, it can be really bad news for you. Extremely bad news, a disastrous case where you go concede that goal. But Ambrosia, what a shot on target. How did Trash get there? He predicted it, stayed in front, and kept his team in this game.
But only for so long. They're still trying to recollect on defense. Ambrosia dancing around defenders. It pops over to the middle. Fishy goes missing. Now over to Fuego. Over to the sidewall. Ambrosia hits the backwards redirect. Yogs in the backward spot. Ambrosia's shot on net. No one had any boost or any hope of jumping for that ball. Ambrosia regains from his missed touch on defense. Forces Yogs to make one there and capitalizes, making it a tie game.
This guy is just a menace right now. He won't leave St. Cloud's half. He's just turning on every ball, stealing all the boosts, stealing their corner boost. My goodness. Ambrosia will not let Mankato lose this game, and that's a great play. Infield, Vogs is there. Bubbly's going to steal it, though, and steps in front. It's Bubbly's turn now.
It was his turn before. He's taking another one. He wants more and more. He's just going to take it. Vogs was there for the shot. It doesn't matter. Bubbly's going to steal it away. And just over a minute, and Flyers will regain that lead they had over Atlas, but hey, we'll have to see if they can keep it.
Yeah, if not, no team has really looked comfortable in a lead. That is a huge double commit, though, out from Atlas. They might get punished. That might have just been the game right there. Fuego, no boost. Some hope of hitting the ball. He had a dream, but that dream was crushed as Bubbly hits it just hard enough over him. Not able to make the save, and looking really good right now. If you're the Flyers, up 5-3 right now, have a chance to go up 2-0 in the series. Could be really deadly.
Bugs into that corner, 46 seconds left. Fishy goes missing. Now Trash is a free touch off the backboard. Doesn't have much boost to work with, though. Fuego slowing this play down. Really good play, but gets dunked by Vogs, and that's the consequence of playing St. Cloud slow like that. You have to slow it down, but then you have to explode into the ball and pick it up quickly. Otherwise, they're just going to take the ball directly off your car. They do not care who is on the ball. They don't show any respect for any offensive player, and that's the tough part about playing St. Cloud. If you're going to create your own respect, you have to be quick with using it, and Bubbly so far and crew have Bubbly this game stepping up massive. 3 for 3 has really shut down this Mankato offense, but 5 goals on the board put up by St. Cloud. They're up 2-0.
It's almost like Bubbly Reaper took what you said personally, Stewie. I mean, you were saying about how Trash and Vogs were the offense. That's what they were doing. They have the stats. I mean, I don't blame you for saying that, but Bubbly Reaper absolutely exploded onto the scene this game. And you see on the replay that bump from Fuego. I mean, what a play it was. And I feel like Atlas are still playing out of their minds, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah, some slight defensive lapses. To be fair, I think 3 out of the 5 goals of Flyers, not to discredit them, but they were off of a kickoff. So in those kind of areas where it is a lot that can happen because a lot of players are out of position initially off of a kickoff, obviously, there's a lot more prone to a quick counter, which what happened, you saw Atlas tie the game up and then Flyers respond within 6 seconds of a quick kickoff goal. So maybe if Atlas changed maybe how they cheat, how the last man plays a little bit more safely so they can deal with that initial shot that Flyers like to do off that kickoff, maybe they can minimize that, because right now that was the biggest thorn in my opinion, was just the kickoff goals. And I don't know if they're taking a timeout. Fuego is restarting his game, might have been having some issues with his frames or something, but yeah, I was honestly expecting Atlas they take a break there with the restart, but I feel like they really do need some sort of just break or timeout to kind of regain the series, because it's not like it's away from them, but any more than this, and they're dealing with a tough spot right now.
And Fuego restarting his game. Rosa thinks his game broke. Bubbly offered, maybe we try a new server here, or is it his computer? Nobody knows. Doesn't matter. Fuego and Ambrosia, they have time. We're not in a massive rush to get through this. We're into game number 3, and this is a big one. You know, if St. Cloud wins this, they're up 3-0 there in all the commanding fashion, and we have not seen Tibbles, you've been here all weekend, or you've been here pretty much all weekend. We have not seen a real large comeback from a team. I mean, maybe 3-1 is the biggest, and even then they probably lost the series in 7 or 6. It's got to be. It is the end of the line if Mankato lose this. They have to find a way to pull this game out. But with Bubbly Reaper starting to get hot on offense, this is scary for Mankato, because the hotter offense that St. Cloud brings up, the Flyers bring up, it's going to be Mankato's defense tested more than anything, really.
Yeah, and you see them, they're vicious right now. They are so fast to every ball. They have not stopped since that defensive save. They're piling on the pressure. But, Tibbles, I want to see what you think about if Mankato have it in them to kind of come back in the series or not.
I think they do. I think they do. I don't think this is over at all. You know, they might be 2-0 up in the case of Flyers, but I really don't think this is over. They have sustained offensive pressure right here. We know what they're capable of. It's just whether they execute. I don't think they played well enough in that series to justify it. That shot from Fuego being saved away. Just about a minute gone now. No goals just yet.
Whoa.
Trash downfield. Fishy's the only one back. That might be in. No. Vox with the shot. Off bottom left. Wow. It'll find its way in. The perfect placement. That's exactly what they needed. And Flyers, they know what they need to do, and they're executing it perfectly.
That is just pixel perfect. Nobody can get out on target. Nobody can even touch it, and that's just in. That is absolutely insane. Vogs, you see why he leads the league in goals per game, and why he has all season, really, because of plays like that. Ambrosia towards net, trash off the backboard. Follow-up from Fishy is saved by his brother in Bubbly Reaper, and Vogs scrambles away, but it was Fuego to keep up the pressure. Bubbly off the backboard. Ambrosia can't make the touch, and that is definitely not what you need, Ori.
That's tough. 2-0 down. I mean, this is basically the game. This is basically, the deciding game, because you win this one. It's 2-1. That's a manageable series. If you go and lose this game, it is a difference between it being a difference of one game where you can come back and tie it, and the difference of, okay, we need to reverse sweep the team, which is huge. So it's not like they don't have time. There's 3 minutes and 20 seconds left, but they need something. They're gonna need a goal, and they're gonna need it by the halfway mark, because with the way that it's going right now, they look like they're about to fall, and their season relies on this. You need to give all that you can, because if you don't do it now, you're not gonna have any time to do it later in the season. The season's over if you lose.
Right, and obviously You know, Tibble, so far this series has been somewhat dominated by St. Cloud, but game 1 was a little bit more offensively structured from Mankato. What do you think they need to do to get back to that?
You know, that's an interesting question because it just seems like everything they're cutting out by the Flyers, everything that Atlas tries is being cut out.
Whoa!
And as I say that,
What a shot.
Fishy's going to put that one in. And what a shot. Yeah, he gets the opportunity, puts it away, but that's what they need to do is, you know, and unfortunately because there's Bubbly Reaper as well, and he played so well last game, but you need to take advantage of those opportunities that you're given.
I agree. I feel like the more mistakes that are made, the bigger chances or the more amount of chances you're going to have to score a goal. And right now, St. Cloud just the team making less mistakes as Mankato has another defensive demolition to deal with as Fishy is removed off the field. Bubbly, this is awkward. Has to pop it in middle. Broja pitches it away, and that's one that just goes wayside. Is St. Cloud going to get away with pretty much first-degree murder there as Broja pops it up, looking for one more bump possibly, but Vogs has it away. Great read from Fuego. Maybe a double off the backboard, but there's Bubbly again, and backboard defense for St. Cloud for me is really the kicker as to why they're so good on defense. I mean, they're obviously faceted well on all fronts of the ball, but you know, where they're going to make the mistakes is the double commits that we have seen against Derecho. And even against Bloomington, there were a couple, but it really was against Des Moines. Des Moines exposed a lot of the offensive mistakes or a lot of defensive mistakes that St. Cloud made, but this is a massive defensive mistake for Mankato.
Fuego.
Yeah, that touch. Bubbly just got the slightest touch already to get that in front of Fuego and put it away. I mean, it's just the finest margins on this one. They do double that lead.
Yeah, and I mean, it looked like they also sent 2 people up at the ball. If they had someone at least a little bit farther back, and man, if you're Atlas right now, it's not over. You have 1:20 left. You still have this game, and I mean that's it though. I mean that's it. You got to win. You got to reverse sweep, and what a way it would be to qualify for LAN if they got a foot back in the door and reverse swept to go to River Falls. But from what I'm seeing right now in their defense, they just look deflated. I just feel like St. Cloud have took it to them. They're being physical, they're being quick, and they just look tired. They just look out of energy right now with how they're playing on defense. They're double committing. They're not being as tenacious and allowing a lot of just freebies for them and not able to capitalize on said freebies themselves down the other end.
Hogs going for a bump. Ambrosia has the clear up to Fishy. Fishy looking for a double off the backboard. Can he hit the crossbar? He can, but Bubbly Reaper has it away, and it would only be him to slow down the offense of Mankato. Now Vogs and Trash going to double commit as they run into each other. Monster cleared on the field. Fishy's there. Bang!
Oh, what a shot.
It's going to go in all the way down. That is an incredible pass from Ambrosia.
A great pass from Ambrosia and Fuego. They both have an assist in this game as well. But I feel like Fishy has been the main offensive outlet. He has the most shots. And yeah, it's not like Ambrosia and Fuego have 0 shots. 3 for Fuego and 4 for Ambrosia. But I just feel like they're not quite getting the opportunities that they need to, or not taking what they're given. And that's what you need to do in this instance. That's a miss from Vogs, but just about 20 seconds left now for the Flyers to survive on this one. A miss from Fuego on the second touch there. Dash on the backboard. Bubbly, a miss from him. That's an open net. Nobody's there to finish it off. Fuego shot away. That might just be in. 7 seconds for Atlas to try and get back into this one and send us to overtime.
Somehow, some way, they stay alive. It might have been a bit slow, and those extra couple seconds on that play might come back to bite them, but we'll see. This series has not been prone to no kickoff goals. It's happened before, but it has to happen here for them. It's a loss. It goes into Fishy. That goes to the backward. Vogs there gets the beat on the ball. It goes into all 3 defensive players on the side of St. Cloud, but they hang on to the ball, Atlas, and that's just a misplay off the sidewall, and that'll kill it. Flyers take the series 3-0.
And Fuego
Wait, what?
knows that he has a timeout. Yes, timeouts do exist, friends. You do have them, and most people don't use them. I don't know why, but Fuego are going to use their timeout, so They will, you will have 2 minutes after this countdown. And I'll just start a timer, obviously, on the 2 minutes. But regardless, I'll start the timer when this countdown clock of 20 seconds ends. But with this timeout, you are down 3-0. Oh, Tibbles, you are staring down the barrel of a 50 cal at this point.
Yep.
What do you have to do to change something? Because St. Cloud's offense is just not slowing down ever.
They're just not even getting close. I mean, Fishy, they've had some great Atlas passes, right? That transitional play, that has been Mankato Atlas's bread and butter in this series so far. That's been how they've been able to score a lot of their goals, and maybe Flyers have been pretty fortunate. You know, a lot of 50s and some kickoff goals, as Ari pointed out. But overall, I mean, they just look solid. They're everywhere at the ball. Every challenge they need to be to shut down Atlas, that's where they are. That's what they're doing. And, you know, it's hard to stop. You know, it's an unstoppable force, right? Is Atlas that immovable object? Can they get it together? I feel like they're not together right now. And they're kind of fractured. And that's why they are being run over by the Flyers right now.
And, server backup, obviously. There's about 1 minute and 20 seconds left on this timeout clock, but I mean, really, just for me, it's been Atlas to put a lot of offensive chances on. Like, they're finding each other. It's not like they're finding, you know, they're not finding each other, but still 1 minute left, but it seems like Mankato is ready to go. Yeah,
They're ready. Let's end it.
We're going to send it, let them go, and we will head into game number 4. St. Cloud 1 game away.
1 game away, that is. We talk about how hard that is. Flyers now have 4 chances to do so. Of course, every chance that they give up is more of a chance that they'll give it away. And Ambrosia, 11 seconds in, the statement they needed. Something really worked out in that timeout because they started off strong in this game 4.
Finally finding those opportunities. I was about to say, it's not like they don't have anything. They're creating some opportunities. They're just not executing. They're not finding that finish like St. Cloud are. And like I said, they just look deflated. There's attempts. You can see the vision on some of their plays, but it's just a day late and $1 short sometimes, and it's just not enough against a team like Flyers. But maybe that timeout's what they needed to wake up.
God.
Fuego almost with a play of his own. That would have been a huge wake-up goal in the series, and that's kind of, they need everything they can get right now if they want to climb back up this mountain that is the reverse sweep against this team.
I'd make it more seem like Mount Everest. I mean, it is a mountain, Ori, but it's a tall, tall mountain. That's for sure. With how St. Cloud's offense has done, Mankato struggling to deal with the challenge game, but Fuego maybe off the backboard looking for one. Will be blocked out by Bubbly Reaper, and Trash there to find it. 1v1 against Ambrosia. Gonna force Ambrosia to make a massive save, and he does. As kind of a massive counterattack here, a quick one, but Bog's gonna cut it out for the offense of Mankato. Is 3:41 to go. Mankato struck first here in game number 4. Can they hold on to the lead? That's the big question, though. When will we see the spark from St. Cloud? Because you know it's coming. Eventually the train's going to roll down the right tracks, and we will see a really strong attempt from this St. Cloud side. But Mankato, can you get off the tracks before that train comes? Maybe the train won't ever show up as Fishy gets an infield pass, and massive play from Fuego. He finds Fishy.
And a couple of the wheels of the train have fallen off the tracks for the Flyers here. That break really benefiting the Mankato Atlas here. They've doubled their lead, doubled their gold. Now they have to try and defend that. And Stewie, I'm curious, as a Premier player, what do you do in this situation? When you're down in a reverse sweep situation in Game 4, where you're currently leading, you're having him to make some defensive plays, but what do? Do you turtle up, try to defend your line, or are you trying to go ahead and extend that lead, but possibly give away that lead that you worked so hard for?
I mean, when you're down like this, I'm not saying you have to play to not lose, but you have to play smarter. You have to play with a inkling of, we're winning this game. The ball is in St. Cloud's court. We do not have to overextend. We do not need a goal. That's the big thing. Those words I just said, we do not need a goal. We need to stop them from scoring any goals. So being smarter on your challenges really will help, but your defense has really got to be strong here and not give up anything for free, because Bubbly right now will take anything you give him, as that was nearly a bump play that happened, as Boggs will somewhat win the challenge. Fishy, one more touch forward, is going to be blocked out by Trash. And I mean, really for me, it's Mankato starting to play a little bit smarter on their challenges, but also on their defensive line. As this is a bump that comes out, Fuego didn't have much boost, will get it away. And when you're down big like this, any victory you can get is a victory. The small victories will start to add up, and then you'll get the series win. But you are behind a absolutely massive comeback that needs to happen. And in my time in MCS, I've only seen one of these, and it was on land. So maybe the fortune's in your favor. But for now, Boggs has one on the board after Bubbly's pass forward.
Who else but to break the ice than Boggs? And off of what was you were talking about defensive mistakes, making good challenges. That was, it was going out to the middle, but they kind of just threw it at the backboard. It wasn't high, it wasn't hard, it kind of was just laid up. But no one was in a good defensive spot. Everyone was kind of flat-footed and slow, and because of that, they're able to squeeze out a goal. And Atlas, when you're playing a team that, yes, they are suffocating, they're quick on their challenges, they're good on their bumps, but you have to beat them on your court. Get them to overcommit. Get them to overextend. You need good defense to beat this team. Flyers will punish you if you aren't super solid on every part of your defense, because the only times that I see teams scoring on this team is if they catch them out. Kind of like this space where Boggs is kind of back by himself. There might be an opening behind him, but when they're stacked up like they are, it's really hard to get through all three of these players. They need to bait and overcommit and not really turtle up, but just try to play more out of their own end per se. Because right now, they just need to not lose more than they need to win, if that makes any sense.
Right. That's kind of what I was asking Stewie as well, and right. I think that answer that he gave reflects that, is that you just need to make sure that you're not taking any risks. You don't need to. You have the lead. 20 seconds to go. That's all you got to do, and you have that first game win. And that seems a heck of a lot closer than 0 wins on the board, with needing 4 in a row to win. So 10 seconds for Mankato Atlas to do it. Of course, Flyers want to do it all here. They want to bring it to overtime and maybe book their ticket to land. Boggs is sending it back into the mixer. Ambrosia on the backboard. What can he do with it? Can he get it down on the ground like I'm sure he wants to do? That's still up. Trash kept it up in the corner. It's off the backboard. Anybody there to finish it off? Boggs there as well. Oh my, call the St. Cloud Psychics. They are borderline telepathic to pull this one back.
And of course, it's against St. Cloud. They give up another 0-second goal. They gave up one to Chicago, and now they give up one to St. Cloud, and that is a gut punch to your heart if you are on the side of Fuego and Ambrosia and Fishy, as now the ball going to skip all the way down the field. He's awkward. Fishy had to make the touch and does. Ambrosia covers it up. Fuego towards downfield, looking to put pressure on Trash. Trash makes a great play, though. Probably demoed the third man. It's an open net. It's going to go in, and the St. Cloud Flyers will punch their ticket to River Falls.
I would say what a series it was, but 4-0, I was expecting a little bit more. I feel like, aside from this game, it felt like Atlas left a lot on the table, but I mean, credit to Flyers. They took it to Atlas. They were not scared. Bubbly said this is the last team he wanted to play, and they sweep them. So able to overcome, I think, a little bit of intimidation, maybe a little bit of nerves. They're able to play their hearts out. And sweeping a team like Atlas is definitely no easy task.
I predicted this to go to Game 7, guys. I mean, I don't know what to say. I really did think that Atlas would really take it to Flyers and give them a good run for their money. And in a way, they did. They really tried their best effort. But like I said, like you said, Stewie, you agree that Flyers are on a different level. They're complete. They're mad. They want that land spot, and they are dedicated. They will get it. And of course, they got it. So all congratulations to them.
And all congratulations to them. But I didn't want to bring it up at the beginning of the night when we had Mankato come in, but that might be the last time we see Fuego and Ambrosia play MCS. I didn't want to talk about it, but too much. But obviously it's a bittersweet thing. But Ambrosia and Fuego may not be competing next season. We'll see what happens. Maybe they want to go for one more round, but that might be the last time we see them play MCS. But still an incredible series from them, as they kept it close. I mean, you got to give them credit. Yeah. They played an incredible series, but the 0-second goal was the bane of their chances in Game 4 and the series in general. I mean, you have to give credit to St. Cloud. Talk about regain. I mean, you lose to Des Moines. You then come, back down into the lower bracket, and you feel like, God, we got to play again. It just seems like, we were just getting unlucky. But regardless, it was an incredible performance from them. And Ori, I'm curious your thoughts of. Now we go to River Falls and we get to see these guys on land. They're definitely a land team. They could be very, very good in a land capacity. But the big thing I'm looking forward to is Des Moines on land. That's a land team 100%.
Yeah. I mean, Mogi's electric, and then you have water, and especially Wolf. Wolf has land experience. He almost won Premier last season, looking to reclaim what was lost, I think. And that's a team.
He almost won in season 3 too.
Yeah, that's a team that a lot of people want to see on land. But this is also a team that a lot of people wanted to see on land, was Ambrosia and Fuego, and it is heartbreaking for them to go. I mean, it's not like close.
Yeah.
It's not like they had a bad day necessarily. They played really well, especially against the Jungle. But to go out 0-4 with St. Cloud, I mean, it just feels like you just left something out on the table, and you're not going to be able to take that back, because you can feel as many feelings as you want, but you can't take back what you put out on the field. That's that. And St. Cloud locked in. We also have the auto qual teams. It's going to be Des Moines, St. Cloud. What are my standings here? And it'll be Fargo and Duluth.
That should be really, really good. Yeah,
I think Fargo has a team in every league in LAN, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm pretty sure they do. I have to check. They do.
Yep.
They have, all 3 leagues. They have a LAN team. Fargo is the team of the franchise of the season. So, shout out to them, as they take the top spot in all leagues for points per team. St. Cloud was number 2. So shout out St. Cloud, and shout out Duluth and Mankato, man, 4th in theirs. So they were huge, but we have still got some things to do. Obviously, you see the bracket, how it played out. Ori just ran it through for us. Appreciate it. But we've still got some things to do. And on the screen, this has been on screen for a while, but you see on the right side, there's a ticket giveaway we're going to do. So if you want to get your final entries into this, all you have to do is type capital MCS in chat, and you will be entered into a ticket giveaway. We're about to give the ticket away right now. So if you want to drop your entry into chat, you can. You got a free ticket to LAN. You possibly get a free ticket to LAN. You enter into the thing, but Grant's looking for it. I'm not gonna enter it because I've already got my ticket, but regardless, Grant, you can only enter once, you goofball. But regardless, I'll give you guys a couple more minutes, but regardless, Tibbles, I mean, obviously you won't be joining us for the in-person event, unfortunately. Ori will. I'll see Ori there, but who do you think, right now for Premier, who do you think wins Premier? You think the two auto qual teams are not going to want to see, Des Moines and St. Cloud there or not? Or do you think that Des Moines and St. Cloud will not have any momentum?
You want me to be honest with you?
Hit me, Ori.
If Mankato won and qualified for LAN, I would be rooting for them at LAN.
I would actually, too. My God,
Not only would I want them to win, but I would actually think they would win. I mean, the experience. Fishy won literally last season Premier. You have Ambrosia and Fuego, who are individually strong, but together they're even stronger. They have experience, not just in Premier, but playing with each other. So, I don't know. I feel like Mankato was one of those teams I was thinking, yeah, they could. I mean, not definitely, because it's not like it's going to be an easy win, but they had a good chance. But now the chance goes to 0 because they're not even going to be there.
Yeah, definitely. And all right, I've given everyone enough time. I'm going to hit the roll button on this entry, and the winner for the LAN ticket giveaway. Good luck, everyone, to this. The winner for the LAN ticket giveaway is it's a guy who just signed up.
There we go.
Water,
Welcome.
Water, you are taking home your LAN ticket for free. So reach out. Quick Horizon will probably reach out to you and send you a code for that. But I will ping you in chat and make sure that you get that. But shout out to Water as he will get the LAN ticket giveaway. And it's important though, because he's arguing to LAN to compete with his team, but he's gonna get a free ticket going there. And obviously I'll bring us back up on the screen. It's been a long goddamn weekend, and we got to do it all over again next week. And I'm gonna lose my hair before we get there. But goodness gracious,
I really wish I could be there. Casting at live events, there's no better
so
feeling
fun.
than that.
So
honestly.
fun, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it with Ori, obviously. And we'll have Bubbly there too. Bubbly will be there, but I don't know if I'll
Bob
make him
the Huge Man
cast
will
it.
also probably be there.
Bob the Huge Man will probably be there. We'll have a lot of friends there, but yeah, we're if you guys don't have any final thoughts, we're gonna send it home and go our separate ways until next weekend. But thank you guys for watching, obviously, and we'll see you next weekend for the in-person event, Season 8 LAN in River Falls, Wisconsin. The University of River Falls is hosting
That's
it for us. Definitely, that is Dicey's place of residence. Does he live there, or is he goes to school?
I would think so.
I would think he lives
there.
probably close. Yeah, that's my guess. But yeah, we'll see you guys later. As this is going on for too long. I apologize, but thank you guys for stopping out. Thanks for all of the fun from this season, all of the play-ins. Thank you for the clips on clips today, the shots that were hit, the defensive plays that were made, everything. That's what makes MCS go around. And we're going to spin the tires one more time next weekend in River Falls, Wisconsin. Thank you so much for joining us.